Yeah, so hi guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry, clocking into TikTok, or maybe I'll just go ahead and say this is Shadow Girl Sherry coming to hang out with you guys on a Saturday. Could I call it Saturday night? It's like it's 7:16, so the sun is about to set and all that, and that's awesome because my channel is called Sunset Songs, so that fits perfectly. My channel is all about my personal journey with the law of attraction. If you are watching this video, that if you are if this live has shown up in front of you, and for you to see, then most likely you already know what the law of attraction is. The law of attraction is the idea that like attracts like, with positive thoughts, positive habits, hanging out with positive people. um it's so said that through the law of attraction, you would be attracting the same, the such, right on back into your life. On the other hand, it's also said that if you are thinking negative thoughts, you're hanging out with negative people, people that constantly want to focus on the more negative aspects, or gossiping and all that. You're doing negative thoughts, you're keeping negative habits. You get what I'm saying? Then you would be attracting the same, the such, again, right on back into your life. And that would be the negative. With the positive, you're attracting the positive. With the negative, you're attracting the negative. Here on my channel, the idea is, I understand that this is a world of duality, but at the same time, there's going to be negative things. But when things come our way that, it's not positive, the idea is to transmute it, because we're trying to live our best lives. Okay. So I've basically explained, told you about the law of attraction. Now I'm going to go ahead and let you all know, if you haven't watched any of my other videos, tuned into my other lives, then I'm going to go ahead and let you in on why the song part, Sunset Songs. Okay, with every episode, I'll say to my channel, Sunset Songs, right before I go live, or make a video, whatever way I'm going to do it, whether it's live or I'm just making a video that I'm going to, upload later. I try to tell my higher self, my spirit guides, whatever, play a song in my heart, put a song in my heart, play a song in my mind, put a song on my mind that is tailored around whatever the subject matter is that I'm going to be talking about for that episode, live, whatever, to my channel, Sunset Songs. So with that being said, and here in just a little bit, I'm going to let you know what the song was that came up in my mind, and basically what from there, whatever subject matter that I'm talking about, the song is tailored around that subject. And with that being said, I tie all that, the song and I tie the song and the subject matter together, and I try to I look up information about the song, maybe the year that it was made, the artist that did the song, artist, their birthday, whatever fun facts I can find out, just to put it all together, and there we go. So with that being said, I'm also going to ask that, if you're enjoying what you're hearing, whatever, please give me a like or whatever, or follow here on TikTok. And if you I can't wait guys, till I get to the point where I'm not only going live on TikTok. I want to get to the point where when I'm going live on TikTok, I'm also going live on YouTube, because I really need to get my YouTube channel. I need to get it to wake up. So I need to get my YouTube channel to wake up, but I still gotta, I'm not the biggest tech person, I gotta be real. So once I sync everything together, and not only that, I'd like to extend out to other platforms. But anyhow, guys, I want to jump into this because I want to get the information out to you guys, and I've got a pretty good amount of information. This kind of ties into the last time I went live, because the last time I went live, I was talking about the spring equinox, okay? And guys, I can't believe that today is March the 28th. So it has been 8 days since we had the spring equinox, so it's like, wow, time goes by fast. So anyhow, I want to go ahead and start in on my notes and everything. And guys, obviously, if you have joined this live, you already know that this live is going to be about the spiritual or witchcraft meaning to daffodils. Like, what do they stand for? What do they mean? And what you're looking at right now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you already know that Shadow Girl Sherry, I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. With that being said, I don't appear in my videos. But lately, like the avatar that you see, the shadow, that is actually my shadow or my silhouette. I took a picture of it and I uploaded it. And the funny thing about it is, I thought about it the last time I went live. I actually took that that avatar or that profile picture, whatever you want to call it, right when I want to say that when I took that picture, it was maybe, it had gotten to the point where maybe we were in fall, or it may have even been like November, something. It had gotten to the point where I started to realize that it wasn't going to be long before I was going to have to start bringing my videos on the inside, like making my lives and everything, having my lives inside of my house, because it was getting to the point where it was getting too cold for me to, make a video in the park, or make a video on my porch, or or in my car, or anything like that. So basically, at that point, I decided that I wanted to bring a little bit of the outdoors inside, and that is a flower. Okay, I gotta be real. That's a fake flower. It's not real. But I just decided that I wanted to bring the outside and the idea of summer and all that different stuff. I wanted to have a way to bring it into the colder months. So I'm thinking it was either fall, or probably not fall. It was more so maybe November, something like that. And because, guys, I've said it before, I really enjoy, one of the things when I first started my channel, I wanted to make as many videos as I could. I wanted to make my videos for the most part outside as much as I could, because I love the elements of nature. I work with the elements of nature. I'll go ahead and say right now that how can I say it? If you don't like the idea of witchcraft, I'm going to quickly say, I'll say something to maybe make you feel a little bit more comfortable. I'll say witchcraft as in, which way do you want to go? Do you choose to wake up in the morning and look at life as in, okay, I woke up this morning and this is going to be a wonderful day. What wonderful things could happen to me today? Or did you wake up, and I know it happens, but do you have a tendency to wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you're just like, oh man, I got another day to face, right? I got another day to face. So it's which way do you want to go? Do you choose to walk a positive path and think, and I said past. So do you choose to look at the past, and if there were things that happened in the past that weren't the best, do you choose to keep thinking about those things, or are you trying to move forward? So, and again, witchcraft, I do have to admit that I work with the elements of nature. I love herbs, and obviously this video is going to be about daffodils. So I love nature and flowers and plants and all that. So there we go. So, I'm going to go ahead and start reading my notes. And first off, maybe I should explain what you're looking at right now. Again, I already said that I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. With that being said, I don't appear in my videos. Lately, I have come up with this idea that with what I put up for you guys to view, the picture, I've decided lately, I'm still not going to show up as myself, but what I've been doing the last couple of times I've gone live or made a video or whatever, I basically have like an avatar or something else, someone that's going to stand in for me. And being that I am African American, I'm an African American woman, it's an African-American woman that's standing in for me. So I come up with the picture. I hope you guys like it. The idea here is this is Shadow Girl Sherry. This is standing in for me. And basically, it kind of looks like obviously a spring scene, but you think about winter and how winter seems so long, and you might think about a bear or whatever, but basically this is a daffodil that's going to stand in for me. So it's kind of like a fairy, and she's waking up from a long winter's nap. Okay. So guys, I hope you like the visual that I've given you. And that's basically what you're looking at. That's why she's got her hands up in the air. She's yawning. So that's what you're looking at. And she's the main daffodil standing up, and there's all the other little daffodils standing around, and everybody's happy about spring. And we have a mirror, and I'm going to explain why the mirror's there. You're going to know as I go through through my notes. And you're also looking at a tarot card. The tarot card that you are looking at is the Judgment Tarot card. And guys, something told me to look it up. Like, okay, something told me when I started making notes, about the spiritual meaning of daffodils, whatever, something said, you know what, I wonder if the daffodil itself or all the flowers, they have to be tied into like a tarot card. It just popped up in my thoughts. And I looked it up, and the tarot card that a daffodil corresponds with is the Judgment Tarot card. And I'm going to be reading all that. You'll understand why here in a little bit. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and read from my notes. I want to say what's up to everybody, and thank you guys for joining me on a Saturday night, sunset, whatever. I see some different names. I see someone called Who. That's making me think of the Who. Okay. I see a Michael Peterson 6. I see a Big Pappy. Guys, thank you. I see Amanda Robinson. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this sunset and for this episode to my channel, Sunset Songs. I hope that you will choose to like, click, share, subscribe, all those things here on TikTok. You're going to find me under Shadow Girl Sherry, Sherry Shadow Closet. And I'm hoping that you'll go ahead and find me on over on YouTube. And over there, you're looking for my main channel, and it's called, altogether, my channel is called Sunset Songs. And again, once you click on, you're going to hear me say, this is Shadow Girl Sherry, and take it from there. Okay, guys, so I see a Gregory Creech. Guys, what's up? Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. Okay, so I'm going to start in on my notes, okay? So, let me see here. Okay, so this is the whole idea about, this is all about the meaning, the spiritual meaning, kind of witchy meaning, to a daffodil, okay? So, the daffodil is a perfect symbol for like a hidden stage of a dream. And with that being said, I want you to think about what you're trying to manifest, what you want to see appear in your life. Okay, I want you to think about that. And I'm going to put you in the mind and let you know what a daffodil stands for, because a daffodil has like a hidden stage, pretty much like all flowers, you know what I'm saying? But I just want you to think of it in that way, that way. Okay, so it's like a hidden kind of idea here, and that goes perfectly with me because I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. So I'm going to tell you how it starts from the underground, and I'm going to work it from there. Okay, so the secret life of the daffodil. Okay, the power of the bulb. Okay, unlike seeds that start from scratch, a daffodil grows from a bulb. Okay, the power of the bulb. Unlike seeds that start from scratch, a daffodil grows from a bulb. This bulb is essentially an underground storage heater. It holds all the nutrients, energy, and even the blueprint of the flower throughout the cold winter. Okay, and with that being said, what you're looking at right now, the daffodil that's standing in for me, she's basically just waking up from winter. Like, this is a part of the first signs that come in for spring. So I'm going to keep reading, okay? Okay, so A daffodil grows from a bulb. This bulb is essentially an underground storage heater. It holds all the nutrients, energy, and even the blueprint of the flower throughout the cold winter. Okay? The period of dormancy. And again, I want you to think about whatever you are trying to manifest, what you want to see pop up and appear in your life in the 3D, because it's kind of like a daffodil. Okay? So the period of dormancy. During winter, it looks like nothing is happening above ground. However, the bulb isn't just sleeping. It's establishing a root system. It is literally grounding itself so it can support the weight of the bloom later. The first responder. Daffodils are indeed among the first to pop up, sometimes even through the snow, because the energy is already stored inside the bulb. So I want you to think about an idea there. What ideas you are trying to plant for manifestation, okay? Because you think about a bulb, you think about a light, you think about an idea, okay? So the first responder. Daffodils are indeed among the first to pop up, sometimes even through the snow. Because the energy is already stored inside the bulb, they don't have to wait for the perfect conditions. They are ready to burst forth as soon as the ground thaws slightly. Okay, the manifestation link, okay? The flower is technically there months before you see it. It is a living example of unseen preparation. The growth is happening in the dark, silent space beneath the soil long before the world sees the yellow petals. Okay, now working through here. Okay, just want you to think about that dark phase, and that, you know, the fact that just because you're not seeing your manifestation, what your manifestation right now, it doesn't mean that it's not there. Okay, it's hidden. Okay, just like I am Shadow Girl Sherry, but I'm here at the same time. Okay, so anyhow, the idea of the dark phase, the time when you're doing the work. This stands for the time when you are doing the work, holding the vision, but the green shoot hasn't broken the surface yet. Okay. All right. Working down through my notes. Want to look in and see who else has joined me. I see a Doreen. I see a Kickin' Mama. I see a Jim. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I see that people are joining me rather early, like I haven't been on long. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me again. So let me work through my notes. Okay. The daffodil, I just want you to think about your manifestation and consider the daffodil, that unseen preparation where the energy is building in the dark before the breakthrough. Okay? Just think about that. Okay? Okay, the daffodil and the narcissist. Okay? Now, this is where I'm going to be linking things together, and here in a little bit, you're even going to know what song I picked as the sunset song. Okay? And it's going to make sense to you. So the daffodil, another name for a daffodil is a narcissist, the narcissist. Okay. All right. So the daffodil and the narcissus are one and the same. This is the botanical name for the whole family of these flowers. And the mythology behind it is the perfect missing link. Okay. Now, with that being said, I said, okay, a daffodil is, another name for a daffodil is a narcissist. Okay. Now, in Greek mythology, I'm going to be telling you a little bit about Greek mythology, but before I do that, and I talk about the origin of the flower and all that, and I go back that far, I'm going to give you the sunset song. Okay. So when you think about the idea of narcissist, this is somebody that's really into themselves. Okay. It's somebody, you're looking in a mirror, and I've turned the sun into a mirror. Okay. So if you have someone that is a narcissist, they're fond of their looks, and, they would want to look in the mirror all the time. Okay. And I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry, but I often find myself looking in the mirror. I'm not saying that I'm a narcissist or anything like that, but I often find myself looking in mirrors a lot. Women, we like to, look and see what we look like and whatever, and see how we appear. And guys do it too. I'm not just going to say women, but um, I am a Gemini. And with that being said, when I look in the mirror, it's kind of like seeing my Gemini twin, I'll say. But just wanted to tell you a little bit, have you think about the idea of the flower being called a narcissist, and the idea of a narcissist, because I'm going to be breaking that down in mythology. And obviously that's what the mirror stands for. But I also want to say, guys, that, there are those that, when I say witchcraft, I'm going to quickly say that I don't like let everyone know, like everybody that I know, that I have a channel, that I have this TikTok, YouTube, whatever, because there are those, if I say the word like witchcraft, they're going to be thinking that I don't believe in God, and that's not the case. Okay. But I also know and have a respect for the fact that if I were in other like parts of the world or whatever, different people could look at the same word or idea, just like the narcissist. Okay. The narcissist it's called a narcissist. And then there's the daffodil. There's all different names, but it's the same idea. Okay. Same flower. That it just came to me to explain it that way. Different people may call it different things. They may call it source energy. They may call it God. They may call it the creator, the divine, whatever. So with that being said, not everybody that I know, like in everyday life, friends, family, know that I have a TikTok channel, and because they hear the word witchcraft, they'll think that I don't believe in God and all that. Okay. But with that being said, that it's not true. I just have a respect for the fact that other people may call it by a different name. And with the mirror, it kind of makes me think of the idea of, you might think of when God thought of us. Okay. And I don't want to go all into religion because everybody believes what they believe. Okay. But I was taught that when you think about God, okay, he made you in the image of himself. Okay. So when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Okay. What do you see? Now that people are getting to the point where a lot of people are saying that they are spiritually awakening and all this different stuff, with, that idea, a lot of people are kind of looking at it as thinking about that idea of, okay, when God made us, the creator, made us, whatever, he made us in the image of himself. So if you look in the mirror, then what are you looking at? It's like looking at a living God, a mini God. So take the idea, run with it, the way you want to look at it. But I thought about that, and I don't know, I thought about the sun, and that you could call it, think about it as in terms of like the Father, the Son, the Blessed Holy Spirit. Or you could think about it as, like when that spring equinox came, okay, the sun returning, like just the sun. Okay. So it's all in the way you look at it. But as I go through my notes, you're going to understand even more so why I have the mirror. And I've already kind of explained it because I said a narcissist. And, when you have a narcissist, this is somebody that's really stuck on themselves, and they want to look at themselves all the time. Now, the picture that you're looking at, this daffodil that's standing in for me, she is just waking up from a winter's nap. So she's not looking at herself. And that's kind of like the mask that I'm going to say that I'm kind of wearing, because again, I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. And with that being said, I don't make an appearance. You don't know what I look like. And this daffodil in this picture is standing in for me. But basically she's waking up from a winter's nap. That's why she's stretching her arms and yawning and all that different stuff. So, guys, I'm getting ready to lose my train of thought, but you get the idea of a narcissist and all that. And with that being said, I'm going to tell you what the sunset song is. And guys, I hope you guys will let me know if you know the song, if you like the song, whatever. And I want to let you know that just because I picked a song like this for this particular episode, It doesn't mean that I don't like all different types of music. Okay. You could join me one night and I could have an R&B song. Another night it could be like I kind of think of this song that I'm gonna tell you here in a little bit as like maybe a yacht rock kind of song. It's like soft rock, or I don't know. The song was made in, I believe, the 70s. Okay, so I want you to think about the word narcissist and another word that you can think of that is just the same as a narcissist. Just like a daffodil, another name for a daffodil is a narcissist. Another name for idea that goes along with being narcissistic is being vain. Okay? And with that being said, I'm going to give you the Sunset Song. And again, another night, it could be a total different idea. I mean, there could be some night you might get on here. It could be a slow love song. It could be what people used to call like a slow jam, or it could be, I don't know, or it could be a country song. I mean, who knows what you're going to come on here and see from Shadow Girl Sherry. Okay. So anyhow, but I want you to think about the word narcissism or being narcissistic, and think about the word vain, because that is where that's where the Sunset Song is going to come in through. Okay. The Sunset Song for this particular episode, I'll say, to my channel Sunset Songs, is going to be You're So Vain by Carly Simon. Okay. And guys, if you know who Carly Simon is, come on now. If you know who Carly Simon is, if you like Carly Simon, if you like this song, I hope that you'll leave me a heart in the chat. Let me know that you like her and you like the song or whatever. Let me know that you even know what the song is. You've heard the song before. Anything, guys, because I want you guys to feel comfortable. I've often said here on my channel that I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. With that being said, I'm going to make the suggestion that if you are watching this live right now, I'm going to make the suggestion that maybe it may mean that you may need to do a little bit of shadow work. I could be wrong. I could be right, but just look into it, because you're watching it, following the voice of someone who goes by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. So with that being said, when I started making videos, I had already named my channel, all that. And a little bit into it, I started getting videos about shadow work. The algorithm started sending me videos about shadow work, obviously, because, I go by Shadow Girl. I have I don't appear in my videos. So shadow work, and I looked into it. I'm like, this makes sense. All this, that, and the third. And so I just want to make that suggestion that maybe it may mean that maybe you may need to do shadow work. Another thing that I want to say is you may feel like you are the type where you don't fit in like everywhere you go. And with that being said, because I've always felt like I don't fit in everywhere. I fit in where I fit in. Okay. But that's not everywhere. It's just the way my life has always been. I fit in where I fit in, but where I don't fit in, I don't fit in. So, but at the same time, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. That can be a good thing. That could be a good thing. And I'm sorry, guys. I got to get back to my notes. I'm sorry. My technology is shut down here on me for a second. Okay. So I've got it back. Okay. So, again, I don't want to lose my train of thought, but with that being said, you may feel like you don't fit in. My idea is I'm going to pick all different songs that, I'm going to think of all different songs. You could come on again and it could be a love song one night. It could be a country song another, whatever. And the idea is for when you come here, I want you to feel like you fit in. Like there's going to be different things. There's always going to be different types of songs. My channel is all about the law of attraction and spirituality and all that. But when I think about the law of attraction and spirituality, especially spirituality, I just think about like opening like a big, huge book that has so many different things that you could pick from. Okay. You could even think about a spell book. Like if you open a book of spells, there could be so many different spells in the book, so, take that idea and run with it. Okay. But my idea is to make everyone feel like you fit in. I want everyone to feel as comfortable as possible, like you fit in here. Sometime you're going to come on here and there's going to be a song that you're going to know about. And I'm hoping that it is this song by Carly Simon, You're So Vain. Okay. Now I'm going to tie the subject matter and the song together, and I'm going to work it from there. And I want to thank everyone who is joining me tonight. I see a Laurie Tenney. I see a David Spence 967. I see a Paul Hunter. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. This is Shadow Girl Sherry, and I'm going to continue in my notes. Okay. So again, the sunset song for tonight is You're So Vain by Carly Simon. Okay. Okay. How I'm linking this together. Carly Simon's You're So Vain. It is basically the story of beauty, of beauty. And then you think about this beautiful flower, and then the psychology behind a person that's narcissistic. Okay. So, the myth, okay, the transformation in the dark. In the Greek myth, and this goes back to mythology, in the Greek myth, Narcissus was a young man so incredibly beautiful that he rejected everyone who loved him. Eventually, he caught a glimpse of his own reflection in a pool of water. So this is kind of like a mirror, okay? Again, Narcissus was a young man so incredibly beautiful that he rejected everyone who loved him. Eventually, he caught a glimpse of his own reflection in a pool of water. He became so obsessed with his own image that he couldn't leave. He just stared at himself until he eventually wasted away. Okay, so he's just standing there, and he's thinking he's so incredibly hot, I'll say, and beautiful and hot and all that different stuff. And he wasted away. So that's the idea of Narcissus. This is the tale of Narcissus in mythology. Okay. So, and that's how I'm going to tie the idea of Carly Simon's You're So Vain and tell you the story, tie all of it together. So again, there was even a version of this, this tale in mythology, when I was looking at my notes, that this the young man, Narcissist, he was so into himself that he's looking at himself, and he got so turned on that basically this was just one of the versions that I saw, that he actually wanted to get down with himself. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to make love to himself. So this is just one of the tales that I found. So anyhow, guys, follow me here. So basically, he just stared at himself until he eventually wasted away. Okay. Where he died, a flower grew in his place, which was the narcissus or the daffodil. Okay. So the connection, okay, to my theme, the hiding phase. Just as I am, telling you about this bulb hiding underground in the dark, the myth of Narcissus is about someone trapped in their own internal world, their reflection. So he loves getting lost in the mirror, okay, and looking at himself, or Narcissus. You get what I'm saying. So the mirror effect. The daffodil flower often has a heavy head that droops downward. In the myth, this is said to represent Narcissus forever leaning over the water, looking at himself. Okay, and that's why the daffodil looks the way it does, okay? All right, so linking all this together. The manifestation twist. While the myth is a tragedy of ego, my idea is for you to think about manifestation, like the angle, like flip it from there. It's about focusing inward so intensely that you eventually transform into something beautiful that everyone can see. Okay. Just take it from there, and you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Let me keep reading here. Okay. So, You're So Vain and the Narcissus. Carly Simon's song is the ultimate anthem for this idea. Think about that famous line in the song. You probably think this song is about you, don't you? It's a hall of mirrors, just like the pool of water narcissists looked into. The person is so self-absorbed that even a song criticizing them becomes a trophy for their ego. Guys, has anybody heard this song? Like, this is a popular song, Carly Simon, and I'm going to be reading more, information about her, how she's doing today and all that. So here we go. So again, this person is so self-absorbed that even a song criticizing them becomes a trophy for their ego. Okay? And I want you to think about this, and even think about a picture frame, right? Think about a picture frame, someone that might be so narcissistic that they have like tons of pictures of themselves. I don't know. Just think about it. Okay, so let's see. I'm just thinking about the daffodil, and I want you to be thinking about what you are manifesting right now, what it is you're manifesting. It's in the dark right now, in the dark right now, the cold ground, unseen, like Shadow Girl Sherry kinda, and the daffodil bulb, but it's there, okay? And it's manifesting. It's coming to the light. Okay? So, just think about that idea of breaking the surface. Okay? And then I've told you this idea of the narcissist, the man who became a flower because he couldn't look away from himself. Okay? Here in a little bit, I'm going to be telling you more about the song. Obviously, the song was about, vanity. And at the same time, it was about vanity, but it turned into something positive, because obviously we got the name, a daffodil, a narcissist, and it's a flower, okay? There's a beauty to that, okay? And I'm working down through my notes and just trying to find everything that, I really want to say to you guys, because sometimes my lives do have a tendency to go a long time. Because guys, I'm always so excited, so happy, like when I'm looking, for information, looking up the information about the song and about tying the information, the song, and whatever the subject matter is together, because I always find like these interesting synchronicities, crazy synchronicities that I find as I'm looking through the information. If you stay and you keep hanging out with me on this Saturday night, it's a little bit after sunset, or the sun is setting right now and all that. And guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I see a Wally, I see a Maddie, I see a Ginger Dudgeon. Guys, I want to thank you so much. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. I hope you're enjoying this. Guys, let me know if you know this song, You're So Vain by Carly Simon. What do you think of the song? What do you think about Carly Simon? All that. And I'm just going to keep reading information. You know what? This is where I'm going to start reading the lyrics to the song. But before I do that, again, I'm going to have to take a drink because, I find a lot of information. It's so funny, the information that I find and the synchronicities that I find, that I could just go on forever. So, I got to take a drink here. And I apologize for the sounds or whatever, but I'm human. Okay, so here we go. So this is You're So Vain by Carly Simon, okay? I'm sorry, guys, just drinking that water down. Okay, You're So Vain by Carly Simon. You walked into the party. You walked into the party like you were walking onto a yacht. And I said that earlier that I kind of considered this song like to be like yacht rock. They called it at one point. I looked up information and they had these songs called yacht rock, like music. So anyhow, you might think about, when I was looking up information and I found out about yacht rock, there were pictures of like the show Three's Company and the way everyone dressed in, in that television series or whatever. Three's Company, Jack Tripper, Mr. Furley, Mrs. Furley. I'm thinking about Suzanne Summers, right? Very pretty woman. Suzanne Summers passed away. I think she passed away from cancer But when I was looking up information and I found out about Yacht Rock. Um, I saw pictures of like Three's Company and the way they dressed, and like Janet and Chrissy, and how they, they lived along a beach or something, and how Chrissy, she dressed in like the short shorts, and that Suzanne Summers, okay? So Yacht Rock. So anyhow, but I just looking up the information and everything, and it made me think about Yacht Rock, and then here's the word yacht in the song. Okay, so let me go ahead with this, okay? You're So Vain by Carly Simon. You walked into the party like you were walking onto a yacht. Your hat strategically dipped below one eye. Your scarf, it was apricot. You had one eye in the mirror as you watched yourself gavotte. I don't know what that word is anyhow, but okay, but you had one eye in the mirror as you watched yourself, and I'll spell it Gavotte. Okay. And all the girls, the girls dreamed that they'd be your partner. They'd be your partner, and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you, don't you? Okay, you're so vain. You're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. You're so vain. Guys, I can't sing. I'm not even going to say I know how to sing, okay? I'm not going to do that to you guys. But you're so vain. I bet you think this song is about you, don't you? Don't you? You had me several years ago when I was still quite naive. Well, you said that we made such a pretty pair, and that you would never leave, but you gave away the things you loved, and one of them was me. I had some dreams. They were clouds in my coffee, and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. You're so vain. I'll bet you think this song is about you, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Okay? And then there's the guitar solo. Okay. I had some dreams. They were clouds in my coffee, and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. You're so vain. I'll bet you think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you? Well, I hear you went up to Saratoga and your horse naturally won. Now, guys, this is another synchronicity, right? Okay, because right now, I've said it a million times. Last year was the year of the wood snake. It was all about change, and snakes are the symbol that goes along with change because they shed their skin. I've said that a million times. Now we're into a new year, and this is the year of the fire horse. So it's about, you've made that change. I want you guys to think about, you have made that change. And last year, 2025, was said that if you were going through a lot of challenges and chaos and all that, that was actually a good thing. I mean, maybe it didn't feel like that when you were going through it, but that was the whole idea of the year 2025. In order for transformation to take place, there has to be change. In order to grow, there has to be change. And that makes me think about the daffodil and growth, okay, and plants, okay, and plants and all that. So you've got to go through some changes. So now we are in the year of the fire horse, and this is about charging forward. And again, this is a crazy synchronicity, because again, this is the year 2026 is the year of the fire horse. It's all about moving forward and going your own way, your own path, whatever. But here in this song, I didn't think about it, because I didn't know every little word to the song. But again, this is a new thing that I'm trying to add to my videos when I go live. I want to have, not only do I want to tell you the song, but I want to read the lyrics so you can kind of feel your way into it. Maybe you don't know the song or whatever, but hopefully you'll stay with me throughout the live. And then after the live is over with, if you've never heard the song, you can go and take a listen to it. And I would love it if you would leave in the comments on any video. It could be this one, another video. Just let me know, if you like the song, what you think about the song, whatever, and let me know. And then, you know what? You could also leave another song that you like or whatever. And, you never know. You could come on here one night and it could be the sunset song. Okay. Maybe I'm always trying to find or hear new music that I can add to my playlist, because I've said it on many times before. That's the reason why I call my channel Sunset Songs. It's because I truly believe that music has a way of making you feel a certain type of way. It can change your vibration or your frequency. So you get what I'm saying. But anyhow, this is a lot to read, but guys, I love hanging out with you guys, and I want to say what's up to everybody. I see a Life Through Seas. I see a Charles Wade 241. I see a Mary Kinkgard. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Guys, you have to know who Carly Simon is. Do you like this song? What do you think about it? If you could leave me a heart, let me know how I'm doing. Let me know that you're enjoying the message that I'm delivering to you, you know, if you want to. So, but either way, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday night, 8 days into the spring solstice. 8 days, guys. Can you believe it? Time goes by so fast. So anyhow, but again, this is the year of the fire horse. I had no idea. I love the synchronicities that I find when I look up. I, you know, think about the message that I'm trying to deliver when I'm talking about the subject matter, and then I include the lyrics and the different synchronicities that show up. Again, this is the year 2026. Again, you already know that, but this is the year of the fire horse, and in this song by Carly Simon, "You're So Vain," she's talking about a horse. So here we go. So back to the lyrics. "Well, I hear you went to Saratoga and your horse naturally won. Then you flew your Learjet." Let me spell it. Learjet. Up to Nova Scotia. Here I go again. Nova Scotia. I think I'm saying it right. Guys, I need to travel. I'm sorry. Getting there, okay? You know what? Traveling might be something that you're working on manifestation. Maybe you're working on a trip this summer. I don't know. That's just a thought that came to my mind. Okay, so anyhow, to see the total eclipse, and this is another one that got to me because, guys, we just came out of eclipse season. Okay, I actually made a video about the blood moon and eclipse season and all that. And here in this song by Carly Simon, I never took notice to it before, but I'm seeing it now. Here in the lyrics that she's talking about an eclipse. So I'm going to start reading the lyrics again. Okay. "Well, I hear you went to Saratoga and your horse naturally won. Then you flew your Learjet." I guess I said that right. "Up to Nova Scotia to see the total eclipse of the sun." Okay. And you're looking at a sun that is made of a mirror. Okay. In this picture. Okay. "To see the total eclipse of the sun. Well, you're where you should be all the time. Well, you're where you should be all the time. And when you're not, you're with some underworld spy or the wife of a close friend. And you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. You're so vain. I'll bet you think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you?" Okay. Now this is the outro. "You're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. Don't you?" Okay. Now, guys, again, she talked about, I'm thinking about the lyrics. She has talked about an eclipse. And not too long ago, we just came out of eclipse season. We had the blood moon. We had that solar eclipse that I made a video about. You could go back and watch it if you so choose. But, you know, she said to see the total eclipse of the sun. Okay. And I'm just thinking about all this stuff is just building on this celestial, the celestial themes that I've been talking about recently. I love the synchronicities, guys. So, I kind of feel like this song, I don't know, it's just perfect for this subject. But this is all about a transition between the unseen, the daffodil bulb, and that famous "clouds in my coffee" line. I'm just thinking about these lyrics and stuff. Okay. All right. So I'm reading down through my notes, deep dive in here. All right. Okay, so I'm going to bridge all this together, the unseen daffodil growth and all that. And again, I want you to think about what you are manifesting. Okay. So You're So Vain was the breakout hit from Carly. You're So Vain was the breakout hit. I'm sorry. The 1972 connection from Dark to Light. Okay. You're So Vain was the breakout hit from Carly's album No Secrets, released in November of 1972. And I even said earlier that I think it was around about November when I took my avatar that you're looking at up here, where it's my own silhouette and I'm holding a flower, because I wanted, my idea is I wanted to, even from the beginning, I want to make as many videos as I can outside, but I I said that it's a possibility, but I don't think it was late summer, because at that point, the end of summer, fall, at that point, I could still go out. It wasn't too cold for me to make the videos. I do believe that to make new videos, I do believe it was around about November. November, I started to get to the point where I'm like, okay, let me start to bring something, the idea of the outside, the outdoors, inside. And it's a fake flower, but the idea was flowers, and um, how I was not really wanting to close the door on like summer and um, I don't know, which we were in the fall then, but at that point it's getting colder, and I wasn't, I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to go outside and film and be comfortable, if I can put it that way. But again, I mentioned November, that is about the time that I think I took my picture of my silhouette with the flower that see as my avatar. So that just made me think about that, a little bit of a synchronicity, because again, You're So Vain was the breakout hit from Carly's album No Secrets, released in November of 1972. Okay, so just like the daffodil, the song was growing in the dark for a long time. Carly actually worked on it for about a year before it was ready to burst onto the charts and stay at number one for the start of 1973. Okay. Now I'm looking through my notes again, guys. I want to say what's up to everybody. I see a Spirit Boy Blue. Guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this Saturday. Around about sunset, 8 days into the spring solstice, springtime, and it's actually 8:08 at night, and we are 8 days into spring. Okay, but it is 8:08 p.m. right now, and then, again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this Saturday night. Okay. There's so many different things you could be doing, but you're hanging out with me. And again, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so I just want you to think about the narcissist, the myth, the man. Maybe, okay, the narcissist, the myth, the man, the legend, I'll say. Okay, the myth, the man, the legend. That just came to my mind. Okay. Uh, and just think about a man staring into the water, lost in his own reflection. Okay. Okay, so Carly gives us a modern version of that pool of water in the famous line, I had some dreams. They were clouds in my coffee. Okay, just like Narcissus saw himself in the lake, Carly is looking into her cup and seeing the reflection of the clouds from the sky. It's a beautiful, hazy image of something that looks real, but you can't actually touch, just like a dream or the manifestation that hasn't broken the surface yet. It's alluring, but it's an illusion until it finally blooms. And guys, I want you to think about that and think about what you are manifesting. What are your plans right now? For the next couple of months, whatever. What are your plans? What are you trying to see manifest? Think about it as it's already yours, because that's basically the universe wants to deliver it to you. And I just want you to think about your manifestation. Think about how happy, the the way that you would feel if you were looking at it right now. It was right in the 3D. Like if you're looking for love, you're looking a spring fling or spring romance, because I think about romance and spring fling and all that different idea when it comes to spring. So um thank you so much. Thank you so much. I got a comment. Thank you so much, Spirit Boy. Hello, and thank you so much for letting me know that this is fancy. Thank you so much. Um, Again, this is Shadow Girl Sherry. Guys, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you, Spirit Boy Blue. Okay. So, guys, let me know if you like this song. I see Sister has joined. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, I want you to think about, again, what you are trying to manifest. And you're looking at a daffodil. I'm thinking about flowers. I'm thinking about plants. And when I think about the word, I'm breaking it up and it's just coming to my thoughts right now. And I want to share it with you. I'm thinking about a flower. I'm thinking about a plant. And I'm thinking about the first word, like the word that's hidden within the word plant. Within that word plant, the word plan is hidden. You have Plan. Okay, so that's plan. And then you add the T, and then you have plant. But within that word plant, there's the word plan. So I want you to think about the seeds that you are planting right now as these are plans and what you are trying to manifest. So plan, the word plan is hidden. It's the unseen, like it's hidden unless you look at it like I do, Shadow Girl Sherry. Okay, it's secretly like hidden there in the word plant. I see plan. And I just want you to think about the seeds that you are planting for this this change that is coming about in your life that the universe wants to deliver to you. Like, and feel it as if it's already yours. So I'm going to keep reading from my notes here. So, again, that's how I want you to look at your manifestation. Just like a dream or a manifestation that hasn't broken the surface yet, it's alluring, but it's an illusion until it finally blooms. Okay? Now, I'm looking through my notes and trying to share what, what's most interesting. I'm going to give you some fun facts here. A couple of insider things, details that I found as I'm researching and looking up information. And, think about 1972. This is when the song was, Carly's coming up with the idea and planning the song or whatever. Okay, so the mystery backup. Here's a little bit of a story. The mystery backup, fun facts. While everyone was guessing who the song was about, a very famous rock star was actually in the studio helping her. Okay, who's the famous rock star? Mick Jagger. Okay, and Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones. Okay, Mick Jagger happened to call the studio while she was recording and ended up singing the uncredited backup vocals you hear in the chorus. Okay, no, again, this is information that I found, when I'm looking up online, and this is obviously, I don't know Carly Simon, but this is the information that I found. Okay, so again, Mick Jagger happened to call the studio while she was recording and ended up singing the uncredited backup vocals for the chorus. The original title. Before it was the anthem we know today, the song was originally going to be called Bless You Ben. She changed the direction once that iconic You're So Vain melody took over. Okay. The coffee inspiration. That clouds in my coffee line wasn't just a metaphor, it actually happened. She was on a plane with her piano player, Billy Marinette. Okay, and he looked at her cup and said, "Look at the clouds in your coffee." They both wrote it down immediately. So this is the makings of the song. Okay, this is just fun facts and information that I found as I'm weaving all this together. Okay, all right. Just looking down through my notes, and I just want to share the top parts here. Okay. Okay. In 2015, while promoting her memoir, so Carly Simon, while in 2015, while promoting her memoir, Boys in the Trees, and I thought that was funny when I found that because, I love trees and I love nature and obviously I love plants. Um, I just, when I saw that, I'm like, oh man, I love this. I love how this is unfolding. Okay. I love how this is unfolding. In 2015, while promoting her memoir, Boys in the Trees, Carly did finally confirm that Warren Beatty is the subject of the second verse. She even joked that in true vain fashion, Warren thinks the whole song is about him. I'm going to read that again. Now, this is information I found, guys. Now, and I'm not telling you guys, you can always look up the information, but this is what I found online. Obviously, I don't know Carly Simon, but these are the fun facts that I found on the journey as I'm weaving the song, the subject matter, and all this together. And guys, if you stay with me, there's so many fun things that I found out, and yeah, some sad things too, but it all comes together and it's a story. And guys, I hope that you are going to enjoy the story and the live and everything that I've come up with. So again, in 2015, while promoting her memoir, Boys in the Trees, Carly did finally confirm that Warren Beatty is the subject of the second verse. She even joked that in true vain fashion, Warren thinks the whole song is about him. As for the other two men, okay, they remain unnamed, okay? She feels that revealing them now would be too calculated, keeping that mystery alive after more than 50 years. Okay? I just want you to think about that. What you are manifesting, the seeds that you are planting right now. I want you to think about the daffodil, and I've given you this idea of the narcissist, the myth, Warren Beatty, the Warren Beatty secret, all this. So, all right, I'm working down through my notes here. And again, I want to say what's up to everybody. I see a sister. I see Paul P383 VR. I see a DD verse 2. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining me. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. I hope that you are enjoying the way this story is unfolding because I have so much more to read. Okay, so just want you to think about a daffodil. Think about what you are. Of course, my channel is all about the law of attraction and manifestation. What you are planting now, the seeds that you are planting, what you are trying to see appear and grow in your life, okay? This is what it's all about. So I want you to think about a daffodil, think about, a table and beautiful daffodils, a vase, whatever way you want to see it, but just think about beautiful daffodils. And guys, the thing that I notice, daffodils are one of the first flowers that pop up for spring. And here lately, there's been like a new place that I've had to drive to in the course of like my day, like not every day, but there's just a new place that I've had to drive. Okay. And now I've got the little puzzle piece that I get letting me know that I've talked for over an hour, or almost. I'm going to have an hour under my belt here. Okay. And the puzzle piece has fit together and I'm back. So I'm going to keep going. Okay. I'm going to read, I see that Spirit Boy Blue, Maddie Boy. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You have a great voice. I'm drawing as I listen, a time travel in intention. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for, letting me know that, because that's one of the things that I shouldn't say it, but I'm a little bit self-conscious. The first time that I went live, I was so nervous about going live. I was so nervous about that. The first time I went live was during what you guys may already know. If you're watching this, you may already know what it is. It's something called the Lionsgate's Portal, and it happens every year in August. And it's said to be a time where it's a time to be bold, and it's all about manifestation and coming out. Leo season is all about being bold, coming out. And the song that I picked for the very first time I went live It was a song by Madonna, because Madonna is a Leo, and obviously Madonna's very confident and all that. And I think the song may have been "Express Yourself" was the very first song that I picked as the sunset song when I went live. But I was so nervous about going live, and how would my voice crack? Um, how would anybody listen? I was so nervous about it. Will I have at least one person join me? But I found that I still get kind of nervous about it, but the more I get into it, and then I am a coffee drinker, and throughout the day I drink coffee, and that might make me seem like a little bit uppy and jumpy and all that. But I always hope that everything's going to flow and I'm going to sound okay and everything. So thank you so much, Spirit Boy Blue, for letting me know this. So thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining me tonight. Okay. So again, I want you to think about your manifestations, what you're trying to manifest, the seeds that you are planting now. And guys, again, I was telling you a little bit about how spring has come, and there has been like a new place that I have had to drive within the course of a day. Not every day, but here and there. Like, it's just a new place. And the beautiful daffodils that are out. And, there's so many yards and, homes that have daffodils, outside, right now in their yards and whatever. And it just seems like the daffodil is such a happy looking flower. Obviously, it's yellow like the sun. And it just, as I'm riding along, it made me think of Munchkin Land or whatever, like, the Wizard of Oz. Like, how the little fairies or Munchkin Land, they laugh and all that. All the daffodils that I'm seeing on my journey as I'm driving, they just look like they're trying to reach out to me and say hi or laugh, or I don't know, they have like some kind of little secret that they're all gathered together having or something. But guys, they just look so happy, like they're the color of joy and happiness, are the color of the sun. So, but I wanted to share that. But all the flowers, that are coming up and everything. But again, daffodils are one of the first flowers that you see appear. So again, I want you to think about whatever it is you're trying to manifest. If it's love, you might think about, and you might think about a spring fling, a spring romance. You might think about, I remember a time when I was seeing someone, and we had gotten an argument, and when he came to make up with me, he had flowers in his hands. Of course, he's coming and he looks at me like he's got this like puppy dog look on his face, and he brings me these flowers. And the first thing, I'm like, oh, they're beautiful. And I'm happy because, I didn't want us to like stop seeing each other or whatever. But, I'm trying to play hard and, oh, I don't care and all this, that, and the third. But, and I don't see him anymore, but I'm just thinking about that moment. Like, he's standing, and he has flowers that he had picked. And I'm like, uh-oh, I'm hoping that, I was thinking the whole time, I hope you didn't pick those flowers from someone's yard. But anyhow, these are just the things that I'm thinking about right now. But if you are trying to manifest like a spring, I'm thinking about a spring fling, spring romance, whatever. Love is in the air. I'm just trying to have you think about daffodils, and maybe think about a table, and, this person that is manifesting has brought you flowers, and possibly maybe there's daffodils in there because they're so happy. Think about the glass vase. Think about the water, and just think about it and be happy, because the universe wants to deliver whatever it is that you are saying is already yours, you're trying to manifest. The universe wants to deliver it to you. You just have to be in alignment. And happiness, I would definitely say, is great alignment. Guys, I want to say what's up to everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I see a G May. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this Saturday night. We're after sunset and everything, and my channel's called Sunset Songs. I hope that you will choose to like, click, share, subscribe, all those different things here on TikTok and over on YouTube. I can't wait until I have my YouTube and my TikTok linked up. So whenever I'm going live on TikTok, I'm also going live on YouTube, because I got to wake my YouTube channel up, but I haven't I haven't got that together yet, but I'm working on it. So anyhow, again, I want you to think about if you're trying to manifest love, anything like that, then maybe think about those daffodils, and maybe somebody, I'm thinking about it right now, somebody bringing you daffodils or roses or whatever you want to think of. So anyhow, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I am working down through my notes. And again, I want you to think about happiness and joy as I am working down through my notes. Okay. Okay, guys. Looking here, and I want to share these points with you. Okay. In 1972, Carly Simon released an anthem that turned a mystery into an art form. She told us no secrets, yet she kept the identity of the man, You're So Vain, hidden for over 40 years. Again, in 1972, Carly Simon released an anthem that turned a mystery into an art form. She told us no secrets, and that's the name of the album, okay, that the song You're So Vain was featured on, okay? The album was called No Secrets. Yet, okay, the album was called No Secrets, yet she kept the identity of the man, You're So Vain, hidden for over 40 years. While we now know the second verse is about Warren Beatty, who ironically thinks the whole song is about him, the other two men remain in the shadows. Just like our daffodil bulb hiding underground, these identities are part of the unseen world. Okay? I want you to think about the narcissist, because I told you about the narcissist in Greek mythology, and the idea that another name for a daffodil is the narcissist. Okay? And but they're one and the same. Okay? And in the same way, a narcissist or narcissism is like another word for like being vain. You're so vain, okay? I just want you to see the connection here. Okay, again, so I want you to think about the narcissist, the man who became the flower. And this was the story that I told earlier about mythology. In mythology, this is what the flower, the name of the flower came from in mythology. There was a man, the narcissist, and he was so narcissistic that he became the flower, the narcissist, the daffodil. Okay, and this is in mythology. He was so caught up in his own reflection that he missed the world around him. Okay, Carly captures that perfectly with the line, "I had some dreams. They were clouds in my coffee." It's the ultimate image of looking inward and seeing only what you want to see. A dream, a reflection, a beautiful illusion. Okay. Now I'm looking through my notes. So even though this song is about vanity, it was a huge collaboration. Mick Jagger actually sang backup, uncredited. And these are the notes. This is stuff that I found out as I'm, looking up information. Mick Jagger actually sang backup uncredited because he happened to call the studio while she was recording. It's like the song itself is it's just, I'm just bringing all this together, guys. I think I kind of miswrote that, so I gotta go past that. Okay. Looking through my notes. So I just want you to think about the song in kind of like a mystery. Who is it? Theories from 1972. Is it the idea? It's exactly the kind of deep dive. A lot of storytelling that I got here, guys. A lot of information that I got here, and for that reason, I've got to stop and take a drink, and I do apologize, but I've got a lot of information. I found out so many different things as I was looking up information for this video. I always find out really fun facts. And that's one of the reasons why I knew that, if I if I join music in with my channel, I would always have something to talk about because, songs are being made every day. Okay. So, just weaving all this together, the Mystery Men, okay, the Mystery Men, the title change, and the James Taylor classification into into my theme of the daffodil, the narcissist. I'm going to make all this make sense. Okay, the hidden truths of 1972. Okay. In the world of 1970s soul and rock, there was no bigger mystery than the man in Carly Simon's You're So Vain. For decades, the world was looking for a reflection. I'll read that again because I'm kind of falling over my words, okay? In the world of 1970s soul and rock, there was no bigger mystery than the man in Carly Simon's You're So Vain. For decades, the world was looking for a reflection, just like the narcissist at the pool. Many people assumed it was about her then husband, James Taylor. But Carly has always been clear. It was not him. Instead, the world's hall of mirrors led them to speculate about everyone from Cat Stevens and Chris Christopherson to Jack Nicholson. Okay, Jack Nicholson was in a movie. I'm thinking about it because I'm thinking about my channel and kind of witchy things. Was it the Witches of Eastwick? Okay, but and Cat Stevens. I don't want to say that because I don't know if the song was by Cat Stevens, but anyhow, that makes me think about Cat Stevens. It makes me think about, guys, here on my channel, I say that I have a co-host, and my co-host is my crazy cat, Sasha. She's not in the room with me right now, but I always say that I mention her. I try to mention her, and I call her my cat co-host, but my co-host, I say, is my crazy cat, Sasha. So anyhow, but I just read over the name Cat Stevens, so that made me think about that. But anyhow, the song almost didn't have that iconic vain hook. It was originally a much softer idea called Bless You, Ben. Okay, like our daffodil bulb hiding in the soil, the song had to stay underground and transform. It wasn't until Carly shifted her focus to that self-absorbed lover, that modern-day narcissist, that the song truly bloomed into a #1 hit. Okay. So again, I've mentioned the myth, the narcissist, the daffodil. The daffodil and the narcissist are the same thing. That is the name of the flower is the narcissist, but it's also the daffodil. That's what I'm talking about tonight. Okay, the secret. I've talked about Warren Beatty and all this different stuff. Cat Stevens, the shadow men here. The Shadow Men, Cat Stevens, Jack Nicholson. Okay, her husband at that point was James Taylor. Okay. All right. Now I'm working down through my notes, making sure that I'm reading the parts that, I really want to share it because, guys, I have so much information and I want to get through it because there's different things that just came to my mind as I'm as I'm coming up with these notes. Okay. All right. And I'm trying to look at my notes and look at, if you guys have any thoughts or anything. Guys, if you're liking the video or whatever, I hope that you will choose to, let me know. But I'm trying to bring it all together, and I'm looking at, the screen, and then I'm also looking at my notes. So, if I miss a comment or something, I do apologize, but I just have a lot of information that I came up with, and I want to share it with you guys because it's a nice story the way it all came together. Okay. All right. Working my way down through this. All right. Okay, a fact check. Okay. The $50,000 secret. Okay. The winner In August 2003, at the Possible Dreams charity auction on Martha's Vineyard, NBC Sports president Dick Ebersol, um, he paid $50,000 to finally hear the truth. Okay, the lunch. The prize wasn't just the name; it was a private lunch. So basically, the idea was, I looked up the information. Dick Ebersol paid, but he wanted to find out, who the person was that she's saying is so vain. Okay, so there's a lunch. Okay, the prize wasn't just a name; it was a private lunch at Carly's home where she served peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and vodka. Now, this is information that I found. Okay, you can always go and look for yourself, but again, read my information here. It was a private lunch at Carly's home where she served peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and vodka on the rocks. She sang the song to him privately and then whispered the name in his ear. Okay. The condition: Ebersol is legally bound to keep the secret, though he was allowed to give one clue. The subject's name contains the letter E. Carly later added that it also contains A and R. Okay. The inner circle. Okay. Carly Simon, she didn't just share the secret with just anybody. But she has shared the secret. Okay. All right. And this is information that I found, and I'm reading through my notes, but I'm trying to look, at my notes and also look at the screen and see what your comments are. I see a Janet White he has joined. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for this live. Okay, so Howard Stern. Okay, after an interview in 2014, she told him privately. So she told Howard Stern. Howard later teased his listeners by saying the subject is not that vain in real life and confirmed it's a composite, like three people. It's three different people, okay? Taylor Swift, okay? Now, this is another person that I looked up information. It says that she told Taylor Swift, okay? This is a great passing the torch moment. Guys, it's a passing the torch. Like, Taylor Swift wasn't even thought of at this point when the song first came out. But anyhow, in 2013, they performed the song together at Gillette Stadium, and Carly whispered the identity to Taylor backstage. Taylor, who is famous for her own mystery subject songs, has kept the secret ever since. Okay. What is a secret worth? In 2003, the answer was exactly $50,000. At a charity auction, a television executive named Dick Ebersol paid that price just for the chance to sit down with Carly over peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and hear the truth. He's one of the few who knows. Over the years, Carly has only shared the unseen truth with a select inner circle, people like Howard Stern and even Taylor Swift. Okay? Now, this reminds me of that daffodil bulb that, I've been talking about. The energy of the secret is what keeps it alive. Okay? If she told the whole world, the mystery would bloom and then fade. By keeping it hidden, the song plays in that manifestation phase, forever growing, swirling, and keeping us all looking into the clouds in our coffee for the answer. And guys, these are just, I'm putting the lyrics in here. And guys, I hope that you are enjoying this. You are enjoying this live and the information just as much as I enjoyed coming up with the information, right? Okay, so here we go. Looking down through my notes. All right, looking down through my notes because I want to share. I got to work my way through because I have a lot of information. And sometimes I wind up having to come back and make a part two. I try not to do that, but it happens. It happens. Okay. Okay, now this is going to be something that more information that I found out, guys. Okay, and I'm just going down through my notes. Okay, the June 25th synchronicity. This is a synchronicity that I put together. Okay, Carly Simon. Okay, Carly Simon's birthday. Carly Simon was born on June the 25th of 1943. I'll say that again. Carly Simon was born on June the 25th of 1943. Now, the day of the double loss. Now, this is the synchronicity. This is the June 25th synchronicity. Again, Carly Simon's birthday. She was born on June the 25th of 1943. Now, on that same day, but a different year, we had a double loss. Okay. Exactly 66 years after Carly was born. This is synchronicity that I noticed because I just remembered that date. Okay. Now I didn't know about Carly Simon's birthday or anything like that. But Carly Simon was born on June the 25th of 1943. As soon as I heard that June the 25th, a bell went off in my mind, like a little bit of a light bulb, if you will. And I'm talking about daffodils, and they grow from a bulb. Okay. This light bulb just kind of went off in my mind. Okay. Came on or whatever. Okay. An idea. Okay. And I thought about it. I'm like, okay, that's not the first time that I've heard that, June the 25th, like something being significant for that day. Again, Carly Simon was born on June the 25th of 1943. But then 66 years later, I noticed this synchronicity after I heard that date, June the 25th. I'm thinking, wait a minute, something else happened on June the 25th. And it came to me. I thought about it a little bit, and then it came to me what it was. Okay, the day of the double loss. Exactly 66 years after Carly was born, on June the 25th of 2009, the world lost two of the biggest icons of the 1970s. Okay, now who were they? On June the 25th of 2009, Michael Jackson died. Okay, Michael Jackson died on June the 25th of 2009, and Farrah Fawcett died on June the 25th of 2009. And what gets to me, I'm thinking about, I called, this song makes me think about yacht rock and all that stuff, and just, the hairstyles that were worn in like the 70s. And, Farrah Fawcett, that hairstyle was like iconic, the Farrah Fawcett like hairstyle. And I'm just putting all this together. Okay. But I remembered something, Michael Jackson died on that day. But the one thing that I noticed, okay, now Michael Jackson died on June the 25th of 2009, but Farrah Fawcett also died on that day. And it seemed like, even though Farrah Fawcett was mentioned, and, Farrah Fawcett, she had a big name, famous, very, very famous. But because she died on the same day as Michael Jackson, it seemed like it wasn't, her death wasn't talked about as much because, oh, I remember at that point in 2009, like after Michael Jackson died, that was a story that, that story, it went on for a long time. Like that was just the news that was everywhere, and, we all know how Michael Jackson died. Okay. The propofol and all that. And I don't want to go through all that negative stuff because I try to keep it positive. But again, on June the 25th of 2009, both Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett, they both died. Okay. And to me, there was this overshadowing. Okay. And I just got to share it because I remember at that point how everyone, obviously Michael Jackson was the king of pop. Okay. But Farrah Fawcett was a star as well. Okay. She was a Charlie's Angel. Okay. But it seemed like her death got overshadowed. It wasn't talked about as much because she died on the same day as the king of pop. Okay. But Farrah Fawcett was a Charlie's Angel. She was a huge icon as well. But to me, it got overshadowed. Okay. So, Farrah Fawcett, this is the information I gathered. Okay. Now I definitely know that Farrah Fawcett died on June the 25th. Okay. This is more information that I found, Farrah Fawcett passed away at 9:28 a.m. that morning after a very public and brave battle. And I do believe it was cancer that Farrah Fawcett passed away from, but I'm not going to say for sure. But again, that morning she passed away after a very brave battle. And I do believe it was cancer. Okay. Okay. So, and that's when she became a real angel. Okay. Because Farrah Fawcett was she was a Charlie's Angel. Okay. So, okay. Michael Jackson passed away just a few hours later. Because Michael was such a global force of nature, I'll say, the news media shifted almost entirely to him, leaving Farrah's passing to be mentioned as almost a footnote. I just noticed that. That's something that I noticed even, at that point. I'm like, wait a minute, okay, Michael Jackson passed, and believe me, I'm a Michael Jackson fan, all that. I have his music and all that. But at the same time, Farrah Fawcett was she was a huge icon as well. She was a Charlie's Angel. So to me, it was kind of like being overshadowed. She was overshadowed because she died on the same day that Michael Jackson died. And of course, there was that big story behind, everything with Michael Jackson, how he died and, everything. It was such a huge story for a while. Okay. But I'm not going to go into that negativity and talk all about that. Was it the Dr. Conrad Murray and all that? That's going too far into it and everything. Okay. So the overshadowed flower. Okay. And I'm just thinking about Farrah Fawcett. Okay. It's strange how some things are destined to be seen while other things are destined to wait in the shadows. Okay. So I want you just kind of think about June the 25th. It's the day. June the 25th was the day Carly Simon was born, a woman who gave us the ultimate song about someone who wants to be the center of attention. Now I'll read that again. It's strange how some things are destined to be seen, while others are destined to wait in the shadows. Okay. On June the 25th, okay, on that day, Carly Simon was born, a woman who gave us the ultimate song about someone who wants to be the center of attention. But on June the 25th, all these many years later, it was also a day of deep shadows. In 2009, we lost the legendary Farrah Fawcett. She was a true angel of the 70s. From her iconic red swimsuit poster, okay, and there was Farrah Fawcett in the red swimsuit poster, and then that makes me think of later on there's Baywatch and there's Pamela Anderson and all that. This just came to my thoughts right now. Okay, so I'm just sharing what the thoughts that are coming to my mind, or the light bulb, if you will. Okay, and obviously daffodils grow from a bulb. Okay, these are just the ideas that I can't help are coming to my thoughts right now. So in 2009, okay, on June the 25th, it was a day of deep shadows. In 2009, we lost the legendary Farrah Fawcett. She was a true angel of the 70s. From her iconic red swimsuit poster to her powerful performance there was a movie called The Burning Bed. Okay, there was a movie called The Burning Bed that Farrah Fawcett starred in. Okay, she was a superstar in her own right. Yet because Michael Jackson passed away on that very same day, her light was temporarily overshadowed by his eclipse. Just my thoughts here, guys. Again, I'm definitely a Michael Jackson fan. Okay, but Farrah Fawcett died that day as well. So it's just like the daffodil bulb that I've been talking about. Sometimes even the most beautiful things have to exist in a space where they aren't the main focus, waiting for their own season to truly be recognized for their unique strength. Okay, and these are just my thoughts and the way I brought it all together. Okay. And I'm just thinking of telling you a little bit about the nostalgia here. Farrah Fawcett played in a movie called The Burning Bed. Okay. It was a movie. Farrah Fawcett played in the movie The Burning Bed. It was a huge turning point for her in 1984. It was the moment she moved from being the girl on the poster to a serious powerhouse actress. Okay. Now, and just again, I'm thinking about think about the first day of spring, the daffodil bulb, and I'm just bringing this all together. Fair is like talking about a perennial flower. She keeps coming back in our memories because her impact on style and television was so massive. Okay. Now, okay, and I'm just thinking about Farrah Fawcett, and if you were like I don't know, a teenager in the 70s, like um someone that was a teenager a teenager in the 70s, like a male. um I'm picturing somebody, just having that poster, that iconic poster on their wall. Okay, I'm just thinking about this. Okay. And I am working through my notes, guys. I do apologize. I'm just working through my notes, but I'm trying to look at the screen and see your comments as well. And I just want to thank you guys so much for watching and joining my live with me. Thank you so much. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. Um, okay. Now, I'm going to tell you more about Carly Simon, the legend and the legacy, the 2022 milestone. Okay. Carly Simon, 2022, Carly Simon was officially inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022. It was a massive moment, with stars like Olivia Rodrigo performing You're So Vain to honor her. The 2026 recognition. In March of 2026, her album No Secrets from 1972 was ranked as one of the greatest soft rock albums of all time by BBC Music Magazine and Parade. Okay, so it's amazing how 54 years later, it's still considered the gold standard. Um, and this was just kind of like a personal kind of song. Like, she was just talking about her experience. Okay. And it's still being recognized this much later. Okay. All right. Okay. Beyond the music. Carly Simon is a powerhouse creator. Besides her 23 studio albums, she has written two memoirs, Boys in the Trees, 2015, and Touched by the Sun, 2019, which is about her friendship with Jackie Kennedy Onassis. This is information that I looked up, guys, okay? Okay, children's books. She has authored 5, including Amy, the Dancing Bear, and Midnight Farm. And, I'm sorry, she has authored five books, including Amy, the Dancing Bear, and The Midnight Farm. This shows her range from soft rock takedowns to gentle stories for children. Okay? All right. Now, I just want to tell you a little bit more about just Farrah Fawcett. And these are just things that came to me as I'm going, looking up notes and all that. Okay. Just thinking about Farrah Fawcett. And I'm just going to call her the iconic angel. Farrah played Jill Monroe. Okay. Now I'm just trying to, kind of acknowledge, Farrah Fawcett, because she died on the same day as Michael Jackson. And not saying that I was like a fan of Charlie's Angels, but she was a Charlie's Angel. Like, I wasn't born at that time anyway, but she was a Charlie's Angel, and she was a beautiful woman. Okay. And altogether, like The Burning Bed, like, she was a star. Okay. So she played in the first season of Charlie's Angels in 1976. Even though she was only on the show for one full season, she became the face of the era. Her feathered hair in that red swimsuit poster, which sold over 12 million copies, made her a global phenomenon. The Battle for Depth. Just like the daffodil bulb pushing through the hard ground, Farrah fought to be seen as more than just a pinup. Okay? I'm just letting you know about the burning bed. She played in a movie, had a part, you know, in the movie The Burning Bed from 1984. That was her breakthrough. She took a gritty, difficult role to prove she was a serious actress, earning Emmy and Golden Globe nominations. All right. The June 25th eclipse. Okay. On June 25th, 2009, tragically, she was a bit overshadowed by Michael Jackson's death. Again, I'm a Michael Jackson fan. Okay. But they died hours within each other. Okay. So I'm just kind of thinking about a shining light. Just a shining light. Okay. Because these were two stars that we lost at one time. Okay. Now, guys, again, I'm just working down through my notes. I do apologize because I just came up with so much more. You wouldn't even believe how much more information that I have, guys. But this is just the way it all came together, and it all this started from a daffodil. Okay, I was just thinking about a daffodil because, guys, again, we are 8 days into spring, and one of the first flowers that appears that shows its face is a daffodil. So that's why I'm talking about a daffodil. But the conversation from a daffodil bloomed into all of this. Okay. And I just wanted to bring it to you. Wanted to bring it to you guys. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. There's a part of me that thinks it's I'm going to wrap this up and then there'll be a part 2 because, obviously I love talking. I love sharing this information, but I think it was just so much information that I found. It usually works that way, but this daffodil has bloomed into it's really bloomed out. Okay. So we've got that June, the 25th date, which was a mix of birth and loss, light and shadow, but like our daffodil, their impact doesn't stay buried. Okay. Okay. Even if you're overshadowed for a moment, your roots are deep enough to rise again. And I just want you to think about that daffodil. Because we haven't forgotten about Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett. Their stories still remain like they were icons. They were icons. We had a Charlie's Angel, and we had, the king of pop, Michael Jackson. They became angels on the same day. All right. June the 25th of 2009. So looking down through my notes, again. So Farrah Fawcett had a bit of a warrior nature about her. And I'm just thinking about the daffodil. Okay? Resilience and all this. But wait a minute. I'm working down through my notes here. Now I'm going to talk about Carly Simon. I'm going to get back to Carly Simon. Okay. So Carly's resilience, her recent reflections and her survival story. I'm going to talk about that in our hidden growth. Okay. I want you to think about that. Okay. And this is Carly Simon. The resilience of the bulb, beating the odds, the warrior survival. Okay. Carly Simon was diagnosed with breast cancer in October of 1997. She faced it head on with a mastectomy, that'd be the breast. Okay. And chemotherapy. At the time, she told reporters, "I've always thought of myself as being a warrior." The daffodil parallel. Just like a daffodil bulb that stays alive under frozen soil and even pushes through a late season snowstorm, Carly didn't just survive. she bloomed again. In 2000, she released the album, The Bedroom Tapes. And this is just information that I looked up. Guys, you can always go and, if you want to look up the information, you for sure always free to do that. Okay. Which featured the song Scar. Okay. Again, I'm going to read that again. Carly didn't just survive, she bloomed again. In 2000, she released the album The Bedroom Tapes, which featured the song Scar, a direct, beautiful reflection on what cancer taught her. Reflections in re-emerging, the NPR connection, okay? In March 2026, she has been back in the spotlight, specifically being celebrated for her career longevity. She has famously said, "I'm constantly re-emerging in my life." The mythology connection. Okay, now I'm thinking about the narcissist. While the narcissist was lost in a static reflection, just staring at himself, because I was talking about the narcissist, which is how the daffodil got its name. It's another name for a daffodil, the narcissist. I said it earlier. This is mythology. Okay. Okay. The narcissist. Okay. So while the narcissist was lost in a static reflection, just staring at himself because he was a narcissist. Okay. Carly uses reflection as a way to evolve. Every time she looks back at her life or her music, she finds herself new to bring. She finds something, I'm sorry. Every time she looks back at her life or her music, she finds something new to bring to the surface. She isn't trapped in the past. She is using it to fuel her next bloom. Okay? So this is something else that I want to share, guys. I want to thank you guys, whoever is still with me at this point. I probably should close this down and make it like a part 2, talk a little bit longer, because I think I'm trying to, maybe I began this maybe a little bit over an hour ago, but again, it was just a lot of information. Okay. So, I just want you to think about a warrior garden. Okay. A warrior garden. Okay. Because I'm talking about some strong people here. Okay. Michael Jackson went through a lot. Everybody has their different opinions on that, so I won't go too far on, talking about that. Some people are Michael Jackson's fans, and then there are those that, aren't big on Michael Jackson, but, So anyhow, but, right now I'm talking about Carly. I'm talking about all the people that I've talked about. I'm just weaving it all together, okay? So we often see the daffodil as a simple sign of spring, but it is actually a warrior. It survives the freezing dark, and sometimes it even breaks through the snow before the sun is ready. Carly Simon is that daffodil. In the late 90s, she faced a battle with breast cancer that would have kept many in the dark, but she gathered her forces and came back stronger. Today, in March 2026, she is still re-emerging, whether she's being inducted into the Hall of Fame or sharing reflections on social media. She proves that the reflection isn't just about vanity, it's about seeing how far you've come. Like the clouds in my coffee, now that was a lyric, like the clouds in my coffee, her life has been a mix of shadows and light, but she always finds the oxygen to rise again. Okay? And I'm just thinking about that daffodil. Okay? That daffodil. So again, Carly Simon's birthday, she was born on June the 25th, 1943. She is a breast cancer survivor. She was diagnosed, breast cancer in 1997, but she is a cancer survivor. So that was a battle for her, but she is a warrior. Okay. The philosophy, talking about re-emerging, the idea of a perennial flower. Okay. Okay. Farrah Fawcett. I've talked about her. Never forgotten. Okay. Now, guys, here's more information, and I'm just going to talk a little bit longer because I see that there are still people that are watching, and I want to thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you will choose to like, click, share, subscribe, all those different things. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you have a sunset song that you like, whatever. Um, Again, I'm looking at the picture right now, and again, I hope I shared that. I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. This picture obviously isn't an image of me. It's kind of like a daffodil, like a fairy, and she's coming back to life after a long winter because obviously we just got out of winter and we're 8 days into spring. So this daffodil is reemerging. She's waking up from a long winter's nap, and she was hidden in a bulb. She was in, daffodils come from bulbs. They grow from bulbs. The bulb is underground and it holds all this secret information. And then it's one of the first to, daffodil and narcissus is one of the first to emerge, even sometimes, late winter. But that's the visual that I'm giving you all. And because I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry, I wanted to, this is not what I look like, but I still had a bit of a mask on, and the mask is the idea that she's got like a little bit of a veil on her. And if you look at the veil is yellow like the sun and like a daffodil, but a daffodil has a part on it that looks kind of like a trumpet. And basically the veil that I'm covering her face with, that's kind of like, it kind of looks like the part of the daffodil that is the trumpet part of it. But instead of pointing it up, I just had it point down to cover her face so she's still kind of unseen. She's still a little bit of a secret, and that stands in for my Shadow Girl Sherry aspect and that persona, the mystery. Because, guys, I really think people love mysteries. That's why we read mystery books. That's why we watch movies. If you knew everything about the movie from the beginning, it would be boring. When you read a book, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and we love to have some type of a story. So I like to have a little bit of a mystery, and the mystery is Shadow Girl Sherry. And the daffodil, this, what avatar is kind of standing in for me. I don't look like that. I don't look like that. I just came up with this. And um, it's also kind of funny, like her arm. I came up with all this idea and everything, but if you were to blow this up, her arm came out to kind of messed up a little bit, but kind of makes me think about her blooming coming up out of the she's coming up out of the earth and, getting scratched a little bit along the way, but she's a trooper and she's a survivor and she's made it through the winter and she's stretching and yawning and she's awakening now. Okay. She's awakening and it's spring and she's blooming. Okay. And, the, the veil that covers her face is basically kind of stands for me being Shadow Girl Sherry. That's a bit of a mask. And, but the veil, it's kind of like the trumpet part of the daffodil, but that part is turned down and is covering her face. So I just wanted to share that. Okay, so here we go. More notes. Okay, the resilience of the recluse. Okay, the age of the legend. Okay, the age of a legend. Okay. Carly Simon was born on June the 25th of 1943. And Carly Simon is 82 years old today, as of March of 2026. Again, Carly Simon was born on June the 25th of 1943. And being that is March of 2026, she's now 82 years old and still going. She is a breast cancer survivor. Okay. So she is a warrior. She's got the warrior spirit, okay? She's a fighter. Okay? But she kind of looks at herself as a recluse at the same time, okay? The recluse persona, okay? Carly has often called herself a bit of a recluse, largely due to her lifelong battle with severe stage fright. And guys, I said that the first time I went live. You'd have to watch the video. I think I titled it Lights, Camera, Action. And I described it at that point kind of like stage fright, because at that point I was so nervous about going live. And what I found myself doing, and this was during the Lionsgate's portal, which is in August of every year. It's said to be a portal that's opened. And at that point, during the Lionsgate's portal is said to be a time where you're supposed to come out, be bold, show up, be your authentic self, present yourself the way you are. And hey, people just got to accept it because, well, the mascot for Leo, the Lionsgate's portal, a lion is, it is the mascot for Leo. And obviously, a lion is the king of the jungle. It doesn't need to be afraid of anything. So it's said to be a time during that Leo season. It's a time to be bold and be who you are, and people have to accept you for who you are. And during that time, if you know anything about birth charts, we all know about, your birth, your sun sign. I'm a Gemini. I've said that before. And, there's that reflective kind of idea there. It makes sense because I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. And a shadow is kind of like shadow and light, like both of them are together. And here I am, a Gemini, and I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. My sun sign again is a Gemini, so that stands for 2. You might think about a Gemini being the twins, because that's the Gemini, the mascot for Gemini. It's 2 twins, so there's 2 of them. Okay. And you could think about someone looking in the mirror. It's a mirror image. You could look in the mirror and then you see a reflection of yourself. That's kind of like a twin. But at the same time, I decided to come out during the Lionsgate's portal and go live for the first time. And I was very, very nervous, about going live. Like, is my voice going to crack? Whatever. And I came out during the Lionsgate's portal. And that's during Leo season. And you might notice that when Leo season comes around, or when a new moon comes up in Leo, or a full moon comes up in Leo, you're going to notice that I started to notice, and this was something I noticed even before, right at that point, for whatever reason, I kept feeling like, the idea kept coming into my mind, even before I kept reading it. Go out on stage. Go out on stage. You need to go out on stage. I kind of looked at it as a stage, and what I did, like, okay, I'm going to go live for the first time. I don't want anybody, you're going to hear my voice, but I don't want you to know what I look like. So what I did, I took a mirror and I turned it upside down. That way, that was an idea. The idea was you couldn't see me. And because I want to be a little bit of a mystery, but I wanted you to hear my voice. But I couldn't help describing it, the upside down mirror, as a stage. And I was basically coming out and stepping onto a stage because you were hearing my voice for the very first time live. So I compared it to like being on a stage, but the stage was an upside down mirror. And I placed different items of my own, like makeup and very bright, pretty gold colors and things like that on the stage. And I picked the song Express Yourself. I think it was the very first song that I talked about during the Lionsgate's portal for that first time I went live, because Madonna is a Leo. And but at that point, I didn't even know that I was a Leo moon. Like, I'm a Gemini sun, but I'm a Leo moon. And the idea, when you look at your birth chart, your moon sign is like secretive. It's like the feminine aspects, because the moon corresponds with the feminine aspect. It's the unseen. And if you think about a woman, if she's pregnant, you can't see her baby. Her baby's hidden in her womb, so you can't see it. And but it's there. You just can't see it. And again, I found out that I am a Leo moon. So for the longest time, this has been a secret from me, because I didn't know anything about having a moon sign. I didn't know anything about it until recently. And with that being said, I'm a Gemini sun, but a Leo moon. And it's said that when it comes to that when it comes to the moon in your moon sign, this is where the secret aspects are going to be. Like, everybody knows about their sun sign, but not everybody knows about a moon. I didn't even know you had a moon sign. But the idea is, on the day that you were born, if you were to look into your birth chart, everybody has one. You look into your birth chart. You would put in, you can look it up. You can look, you could actually just say it. Like if you say your date of birth and you say, okay, what was most people already know what their zodiac sign is, their sun sign is. But if you want to know what you have a moon sign as well, meaning that the day that you were born, the moon was in a certain sign. And I found out that I am a Leo moon. So with that being said, there's going to be aspects of me. These are the aspects that are hidden. Like you don't necessarily know about it. And the idea, since I am a Leo moon, there is a part of me that has been hidden for all this time I didn't know anything about birth charts. But if you want to know what your moon sign is, the only thing you have to do is just, ask Google, look it up and just put in your birthday and say, okay, well, what sign was the moon in the day I was born? And it'll let you know. And then you know what your moon sign is. But these are like the secret aspects, the things that are hidden. So with that being said, you could look into that sign and kind of find out your hidden talents. Like that it's going to be in there, like what's hidden. You may not know this, but it's coming. Okay. And, I kind of think about a lion. I'm a Leo moon. So I kind of think about a lion, in a lion's den. And the lion, wanted to come out on stage. Again, who was a Leo? Madonna's a Leo. And obviously during I think it was 1984, I believe it was the MTV Music Awards. She performed like a virgin, and there's like not a birthday cake, but a cake, and like a wedding cake, and she's saying like the songs like a virgin. And even in the video, now Madonna is a Leo. Okay, she's a Leo sun, so it's said that Leos love to perform. They like to be seen. And where I've said that I am a Leo moon. So, and I've often said that when I have been seen in life, it's kind of like I felt like I was a part of a scene. I felt unseen a lot. And I kind of feel more comfortable. I don't like to be in the spotlight all the time. But then there's a part of me, I'm finding out, that does want a little bit of spotlight. And it's just a hidden part that I didn't know about. Okay. And that's why I came up with my channel. And I'm reaching out to other people, trying to reach out to other people and hear about their experiences and let you know, things like, okay, about a birth chart. If you didn't know, you most likely already know about your zodiac sign, and you think, okay, I'm a Gemini sun, but you also have a moon sign. And again, I am a Leo moon, and Madonna is a Leo sun. And even in her video to her song, Like a Virgin, she has a lion. She's a Leo sun. In her video to Like a Virgin, I've said it before, she has a lion, a man that's masked. He's wearing a lion's mask. And, well, you know the song. You can go and look at the video anytime. And, she's just describing like a wilderness. Like she felt like she was lost in the wilderness, and somehow she made it through. She didn't know how lost she was until she found him, and I guess he kind of brings out the animal in her, you know what I mean? Like a virgin, and you get what I'm saying. But she is a Leo, and in the video too, Like a Virgin, she has a lion that walks in the video, and she also has a man that is in the video, and he is a masked man, and the mask that he's wearing is a lion. So guys, I just wanted to reach out and, tell you all these different things. And again, I have felt like, oh my goodness, this is so crazy. I'm looking at something right now, and it is exactly at 69%. So crazy. Because I've said that so many times before, that when I've been seeing that number a lot, and I just found out, wow, crazy. I'm looking at something and it's at 69%. But anyhow, guys, let me jump back in this. That kind of threw me off a little bit, seeing that. Throws me off. All these crazy synchronicities. But guys, I just wanted to tell you about that, like that Madonna and all that's a Leo moon, and I don't even know how I got started talking about it. I think it again. I was talking about the first time I went live, and I looked at it as a stage, not a cage. I took a mirror, and I during the Lionsgate's portal, I said to be a time this you're supposed to come out and be bold and all that. I took an upside down mirror. I took a mirror, I turned it upside down, and I described it as being a stage. Like I was stepping out on a stage because I was going live for the first time. You know, taking that chance, and it was kind of like stage fright. Okay, it's stage fright, but I at least faced that. I faced it because I'm one of those ones where I feel like in life I've had like a spotlight on me, but at times the spotlight, it was for the wrong reasons. And it's not like saying I'm some terrible person or anything like that. It wasn't like I was standing out because the police or nothing like that. I'm saying it was like I feel like at points in my life I've been in the middle of a scene, like being seen for like the wrong things, being misunderstood, not fitting in. And that's one of the reasons why I came up with the idea for my channel and to come out and talk to other people that have different experiences, have had different experiences, trials, tribulations, whatever. You feel like you feel like you don't fit in, and I want to make people um, feel like they fit in. I want to have a spot where if you feel like you don't fit in, you at some point you're gonna come on here and maybe I have a song that you like, and you're going to feel like you fit in, even though I'm African American. I like all different types of music. There have been like different points in my life where maybe because of things that I liked, um, I know that, when people, I know that there's been some people that I know, and I feel like I've gotten around them since I started my channel, and maybe they think about, oh, well, you like Madonna, or like, I'm not supposed to like this, or I'm not supposed to like that. And it's like, well, that's not the case because I like what I like, and that's it. So I just want to make everyone at some point, I'm sure there's going to be some song that you're going to come on and you're going to like it. And I just want to, if you feel different, like you may be in a kind of like witchy things, whatever. Sometimes when you feel like you don't fit in, it makes you, it kind of has you, gets you to the point where you want to start looking in to find out, like, where do I fit in? That's one of the reasons why I came up with my channel. But again, I want to say what's up to everybody. I see a matcha dragon. I want to say what's up to everybody. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. I hope you're enjoying all this. But basically, I started talking about that whole stage idea because, again, the first time I went live was during the Lionsgate's portal. And you're going to notice, for whatever reason, I didn't notice at that point, but whenever anything comes like a new moon or a full moon, anything, Leo season comes out, for whatever reason, people start talking about a stage and performing. And it's known to be the sign of performers. Like people that are Leos, they usually want to be seen. And me, I'm a Leo moon, so I've always felt like there was a spotlight on me at different times in my life, but it was a spotlight being put on me for like the wrong reasons because maybe I liked something that not everybody likes. Like I just said, I like Madonna. There be some people, oh, because you're supposed to just like this kind of music. No, I like everything. I'm going to pick and choose, and what I like is what I like, and that's it. So, anyhow, guys, you get what I'm saying. But Carly Simon, again, I'm going back to Carly because I started talking about Madonna and the first time I went live and Leo season and all that. But again, she starts talking about the fact that this is Carly Simon, and I didn't know this. She's talking about, she has said that she's a bit of a recluse, okay? And, recluse is somebody who likes to kind of keep to themselves. But I wouldn't have thought this about Carly Simon, right? Like she's iconic, right? And, but again, I'm reading the information. Carly has often called herself a bit of a recluse, largely due to her lifelong battle with severe stage fright. And I was saying that I kind of felt like I had stage fright during the Lionsgate's portal, but I pushed through it. And at least I faced that fear. And there we go. So it's funny to find out that Carly Simon has had a lifelong battle with severe stage fright, okay? Which she discusses in Boys in the Trees. Okay, so like a daffodil bulb that prefers the quiet safety of the earth, she is often chosen to create from her home in Martha's Vineyard rather than under the constant glare of the spotlight. Okay, so again, I've told you about her book, her memoir, Boys in the Trees. Uh, that was 2015. Okay, and Touched by the Sun. That I love all these synchronicities. Touched by the Sun. My channel is called Sunset Songs. Okay, this was from 2019, Touched by the Sun, which chronicles her deep friendship with Jackie Kennedy Onassis. Okay, Daffodil Facts, the Hardy Warrior. Okay, found out all kinds of different stuff about a daffodil because obviously that's the subject matter. Daffodils are the ultimate symbol of strength in silence. Okay, so Daffodil Facts, the hardy warrior, like Carly Simon. The timeline: they are best planted in the fall. Okay, September through November, to establish roots before the freeze. Again, the timeline: they are best planted in the fall, September through November, to establish roots before the freeze, only to burst forth in March or April. Okay, so that's, they're part of the first flowers that start coming out and showing their face for the fall, or for the spring. And I've said that recently I've had a different place that I've, been kind of going. It's been a part of my journey that's kind of popped up lately. And anyhow, I mean, you just see a lot of daffodils right now, but I'm just saying as I'm driving along or whatever, I look around and I see all these daffodils and these yellow flowers and stuff. And they just seem like they're reaching out, trying to say hi or whatever. This is just what it makes me think of. But I want you to think about right now, if you want to have your, right now, daffodils are obviously they're coming to bloom. They're coming to life, waking back up like this fairy. Daffodil that you're looking at as the visual. If you want, I've just let you know, from what I've looked up, if you are into flowers, obviously you're watching this, you're tuning into this live. I'm letting you know that from September to November, you can plant. Would be the time to plant your daffodil bulb. And all that information of the beauty of the daffodil, the idea, everything of the daffodil is hidden in that bulb. You could plant it the best time, September to November. You plant that bulb, and then it's going to come to life. And I just want you to think about manifestation and what you're trying to manifest. I've mentioned the idea of a plant, and then within that word plant, there's a hidden little aspect there, because I see the word within plant, you see plan. So you have PLAN, and then at the end you would add that T, but I see the word plan. So you think about what you want to see. Okay, and what things do you need to plan out to be in alignment with what you're trying to see grow in your life? And I just wanted to say that. And if for some reason, if you're watching this, if you want to plant daffodils, you get the bulbs and you would plant them. They are blessed. They are best planted in the fall, from September to November. So, hey, you can mark your calendar now if you want to have some beautiful daffodils. Okay. And you're seeing what daffodils look like all in the field, all out in the field. Those are daffodils. And in the center, that's standing, I'm saying, you don't know what I look like, but the daffodil in the center, the main daffodil, I'm kind of saying is me, as a fairy, but I don't look like that. I'm just African American. And hey, it's spring and I'm waking up and I've taken a long nap and, ready or not, here I come. So that was the idea. That's what you're looking at. And, but I want to give you the idea that, if you want to plant your bulbs, the best time to plant your idea, and I'm thinking about a bulb and thoughts and all that. If you want to plant your idea, a bulb of a beautiful flower, which is, the narcissus or, the daffodil, then the best time to plant it would be September to November. So it will establish roots before the freeze. And then in March, in April, that's when they're going to emerge from that winter's nap. But the secret, all of it's always is hidden in that bulb. The idea of that flower is in that bulb. Okay. And I wanted to share that if you wanted to mark your calendar, whatever, it, you can think about it now, but you're seeing the beauty of what comes from the bulb. But before you're going to have the beauty of that flower, okay, of course you got to plant that, not seed, but you've got to make the plans and you've got to plant the bulb. So, and that would have started the best time to start that. Like if you would have started in September through November. And then now, obviously, we are in March, getting almost into April, and these beautiful flowers are blooming. Okay. So that's what you're looking at. So, hey, mark your calendar. You want some daffodils come September, November, it'll be on your calendar and you know what to do. So, okay. So the survival list. Okay. The survival list. Okay. Daffodils are indeed drought tolerant. They're drought tolerant and they're deer resistant because they contain, and I got to spell it. Okay. This is just information that I found. Okay. Okay. They are drought tolerant and deer resistant because they contain, and I'm going to spell it because I don't know this word. It's the first time I've heard it. Okay. Lycorine, a natural toxin that keeps pests away. Okay. The legacy. A single planting can neutralize and can continue to bloom for decades. A legacy, I'm saying a legacy here with this beautiful flower. The legacy. A single planting can neutralize and continue to bloom for decades. Natural. Okay, I'm sorry. For decades. Some have been known to bloom for 50 years or more, just like Carly's 50-year legacy with You're So Vain. Okay? That's the song, the sunset song for tonight. And there's a little bit of a synchronicity there that I found and I wanted to share with you guys. But again, the sunset song is You're So Vain by Carly Simon. And some daffodils have been known to bloom for 50 years or more, just like Carly Simon's 50-year legacy with You're So Vain. Now, guys, you are also looking at a tarot card. Now, there's a tarot card that is present in this Alive. If you look at the sun, which is a mirror, okay, you look at the sun, which is also a mirror. Okay, under that sun, you see a tarot card. If you're familiar with the tarot, then you know what this tarot card is. This particular tarot card, it's the Judgment card. Okay. And something just told me before I started looking into information, as I'm looking into information about the daffodil and everything, for whatever reason, something came to me. It's like, I wonder if a daffodil, I know that each flower, plants and things like that, since I've been getting into this stuff, they correspond with a planet. Okay. Okay. They correspond with a planet. But at the same time, I thought about it. Well, does the plant or does each flower or plant or whatever, does it correspond with a tarot card? And it just so happened that I was right. Okay. There's a light bulb that went off in my mind and I was right. Okay. And that's where, I looked up to see what tarot card, corresponds with a narcissus or a, daffodil flower, which again, the name, it has two different names. A daffodil is also called the narcissus. Two different names, same flower. Okay. But, the tarot card that it corresponds with is the Judgment tarot card. Okay. And just think about the Judgment tarot card. And that is the tarot card that you are looking at, that I made sure to feature in the visual for this live. Okay. And, now, I want to make a little bit of a connection, and I'm kind of thinking if maybe this should be the point where I'm looking at how much I have, to talk about. and guys, I can't help that right now I'm um, kind of wondering. Can't wait to see how many people join me for this live. I've had so much fun delivering this live, and I'm wondering if this should be the place where I stop. Now, I don't live alone, so I want to say that I haven't had anyone come and say, it's time to quit, whatever. Because, I'm always respectful, of, the people I live with and everything. I love my family. Um, but it is Saturday night, so it's like, who wants to go to bed this early, right? Although um, some people do, but there's good stuff that you want to stay up and watch on a Saturday night, and then there are those that of course want to go out and do things, but to each their own. But there's TV. There's always TV um, and always movies and stuff that you can watch. You know what I mean? It's always there, and it's the weekend, so it's a good time to do it. Decide what you want to do with your time. But guys, I'm just trying to think right now. I think that I'm going to go ahead. It's 9:36, and I'm going to go ahead and say right now that 9:36 actually corresponds, a number that corresponds with one of the chakras. And I talk about chakras a lot here on my channel, the chakras. Um, it's either 9:36, either that number, like hertz, whatever, that frequency either aligns with and I don't know off the top of my head, that light bulb isn't going off in my mind, but it's either the third eye chakra or it's the crown. But that number 9:36 just it reaches out to me as well, just like those daffodils that I'm seeing lately. But it was 9:36. I wanted to tell you that it's one of the chakras. It's either the third eye chakra or the crown. So you can go and look that up if you want, but I hope you'll wait until after my live to do that. But these are just connections that I make. And again, but the tarot card that corresponds with this flower is the Judgment card. And depending on where you're viewing this live from, would depend on how large that would, the image of the tarot card obviously would show up for you. But you know what, this might be, if you're not into tarot, this might be an invitation, a bit of an invitation for you to explore a journey. Think about starting a journey with tarot. It's just an idea. I've definitely come to find out that I really feel like there's sometimes I've had reading, because I have my own personal deck, and oracle cards and all that. But some of them, there's been some readings that have been like a little bit off, but for the most part, tarot really has, it's been a journey for me, and just making the connections, finding out what they mean and everything. And it really is a journey. But I have to say that more accurate than tarot definitely is a birth chart. Definitely a birth chart. Guys, I see that there is someone who wants to co-host with me. And guy, I want to thank you so much for whoever that was. I was actually looking at, my notes, and then I looked over and I saw that there was somebody who wanted to join with me I'll say my channel's called Sunset Songs. So there was someone who wanted to do, I'll say, a duet with me. Go out on stage together, I'll say. Guys, I'm working with that. I want to thank you so much for wanting to go live with me, and we have a collaboration together. It's just the fact that I was looking at my notes, and not only that, I do have a little bit of stage fright. I am a shy one. I'm a little bit shy. So I'm working on it though. What I am going to hope that you're going to do, whoever it was that, I can't see it right now, whoever it was who wanted to, join me for the live, I hope that you will choose to like, click, share, subscribe, all those different things. And, in time it could happen, but maybe we can make a connection that way, start out that way. And, you never know what the future holds, just like the daffodil, the secrets and all that. But, I want to thank you so much, for, wanting to do a collaboration with me, and in time, maybe that will happen. Now, guys, I want to tell you that my phone right now is at 36%. Now I was looking at something else that a little bit ago was at 69%. And now I'm looking at my phone and is at 36%. And if you take the numbers 36 and you add them up, you've got 9. And that's the very, very feminine. It's a feminine number. In 9 months, think about a baby. A woman, it takes 9 months for her baby to grow. And, think about what you're manifesting. But if you think about that, the numbers 36, you add them up, they add up to 9 months. But at the same time, you might also think about that number, that manifestation method, which is like I think it's also called the Tesla code. And it's said to be the code or the keys to the universe. And it is also called the 369 method. You'll have to look it up. I don't want to go all into it, but if you're watching this, you probably already know what it is. It's said to be the keys to the universe. And it even makes me think about the fact that I'm thinking about the keys to the universe. I'm thinking about keys, to a car. It makes me think about the car, a Tesla, so just think about all these things, guys, but they're all coming. These are all the things that are coming to my mind. And, I'm at least going to try to talk until 9:41. Okay. Or it's 9:40. I'm sorry. It's not, see, I'm getting tired, a little bit tired because I've been talking for a while. I've got a lot of notes. Not necessarily tired, like I'm yawning, like the daffodil here, the fairy, and that I want to go to bed. But I just have when I start looking up information to go live, it's so funny, all the information that comes up. Like right now, within this, the next connection that I'm gonna be bringing to you guys after the tarot card, you're gonna be like, what in the world? This girl has really looked into this, but it's just the way it unfolds. It really unfolds, like it blooms, it blossoms. But it all started from some point. And it started from the sunset song and just the idea of a daffodil bulb, and it's spring. And yeah, so the sunset song for tonight is You're So Vain by Carly Simon. But I'm just looking at all this stuff that I have. But again, I'm just kind of making the suggestion. Maybe you might want to think about starting your journey, a journey with the tarot. It's interesting. Tarot, I've got my own personal deck, and it can be very, very interesting, the way, the stories that they tell, right? The connections, okay? But I will definitely say, I've had positive experiences with the tarot, and then there's been times where I've gotten a little bit confused with it. But your birth chart, now it's very spot on. I'm just making the suggestion to look into your birth chart. And I had an idea that I really wanted to go in talking about birth charts, but I'm telling you, this year came up on me really fast, and I didn't get to do the idea that I wanted to do for every month for 2026. And I've talked about that before. I'm eventually going to bring it back. It's just not going to be in the order that I wanted it to be. But anyhow, again, the tarot card that you are looking at is the tarot card that corresponds with a daffodil, and that is the Judgment Tarot card, because it's an idea of awakening. Okay, and then there's also a trumpet featured in the tarot card, and if you look at the daffodil, it looks like a trumpet. Okay, so I'm going through my notes, and again, I'm going to at least talk until 10 o'clock. I don't want to stretch it because I feel like after a while, this is a time where a lot of people have short attention spans. A lot of people have short attention spans, and that's why we have things like TikTok. But with that being said, I want to thank anyone who has joined me and who has possibly stayed with me for this long. I want to thank you so much. I've had so much fun making this video. But again, I'm going to probably stay on until at least 10 o'clock. And from there, I'm going to see if anybody's going to say, hey, text me and say, hey, people that I live with, and somebody's going to text me and say, hey, let's all be quiet and maybe watch a movie or whatever. But we can hear you and whatever. So I don't know, but we're going to play it like that. I'm going to play it like that. So, but at least until 10 o'clock, I'm going to at least keep this going until 10 o'clock. What I don't finish, I will bring back. I'll open up maybe tomorrow or the next night. You just got to look out for Shadow Girl Sherry. And what I'll do, I'll probably change the representation of the daffodil, like the visual that you're looking at. I'll change it up just a little bit. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about the Judgment Tarot card because it corresponds with, the Judgment Tarot card corresponds with the daffodil. And I want to say what's up to everybody. I see a Jody has joined me. Thank you so much for joining me, Jody. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. Guys, I'm just having so much fun with this information, and I hope you guys are enjoying this live as well as in the same way that I've enjoyed coming up with the information. So the tarot card connection, Judgment and the Trumpet. Okay, so I'm going to make this connection. The daffodil corresponds with the Judgment, the daffodil and the Judgment Tarot card. They have a connection. Okay, so I want you to think about the trumpet shape. The center of a daffodil is botanically called looks like a corona. I'm going to spell it corona. Corona. That's make me thinking about the drink, like with the beer Corona, and it's got that bright color. Okay, but the trumpet shape. The center of a daffodil is botanically called a corona, but we commonly call it a trumpet. Okay, now in this tarot card that you're looking at, the Judgment Tarot card, there is an archangel. Okay, the archangel's call. In the Judgment card, a archangel Gabriel blows a trumpet to signal a calling or a rebirth. This matches the daffodil being the first herald of spring. So the daffodil is one of the first flowers that awakens and lets us know spring is like on its way, or it's coming, like it's here, or it's right around the corner. Okay. So that's why it corresponds with this tarot card, and corresponds with the daffodil. Okay. The archangel's call. In the Judgment card, Archangel Gabriel blows a trumpet to signal a calling or a rebirth. And you think about spring is renewal, is rebirth. Okay. Okay. So the rebirth, just as the figures in the Judgment card rise from their coffins, the daffodil rises from its tomb in the frozen soil. It's a literal awakening of the earth. So this is the way the connection, the rebirth. Just as the figures in the Judgment card rise from their coffins, the daffodil rises from its tomb in the frozen soil. It's a literal awakening of the earth. And, I would have went more into the idea of the tarot card, but that's going to be my invitation to, if you want to study the tarot, that is one of the things here and there. I'm going to be talking about all kinds of different things here on my channel. Tarot is one thing that I definitely work with. So I will be discussing all different things, and tarot is one thing that I work with. So hope you choose to like, click, share, subscribe, all that different stuff. And again, and I keep looking through my notes, and I'm going to at least be talking till 10 o'clock. I could go over, but we're going to see how this goes. Because again, when I start talking for too long, my voice dries out, and I want to make sure that you can hear me and it comes out clear, and I'm not stumbling over my words and everything. The trumpet of the sun. Okay. At 82 years old, Carly Simon remains a master of the unseen. At 82 years old, Carly Simon remains a master of the unseen. She calls herself a recluse, choosing the quiet of the shadows over the noise of the crowd. But even a recluse has a season to rise. Okay? Look at the daffodil. Okay? We plant it in the dark of autumn and leave it to the winter. I'm sorry. Look at the daffodil. We plant it in the dark of autumn and leave it to, we leave it in the wintertime, Okay, autumn, leave it, and we leave it there. Okay, so at the same time, keep this idea, it's a hardy warrior. It is deer resistant, drought tolerant, and capable of blooming for decades. It doesn't just grow, it awakens. In the tarot, the judgment card shows Archangel Gabriel, blowing a golden trumpet to signal a rebirth. Look closely at the daffodil. Its center is a trumpet too. It's the earth's own signal that the dark phase of manifestation is over. I just want you to think about it in that way. Think about your manifestation and just think about the daffodil, okay? Look closely at the daffodil. Its center is a trumpet too. It's the earth's own signal that the dark phase of manifestation is over. Okay. Like Carly's lyrics in Touched by the Sun, I'm sorry. Now, see, I'm getting a little bit mixed up, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm just getting a little bit tired. But again, I'm going to say the sunset song for tonight is by Carly Simon, and the song is You're So Vain. You're So Vain. I'm just tripping over things a little bit just because I'm a little bit tired. But anyhow, not tired, it's just the live has been going for a while. But again, I want to thank you all for joining me. It is 9:51. I'm going to at least try to talk until 10. I might go a little bit over. It all depends on, again, I don't live alone. So I could have, say hair, like get a text. Oh, well, it's time to I don't know. You get what I'm saying. But I always have to have respect for those that were around. Okay. So I am looking down through my notes, trying to see where, what I definitely want to share in this live for right now. Okay. Okay. Okay, now, guys, I'm just looking down through my notes. Okay, now there is a story that goes along with mythology when it comes to the daffodil. Okay, because I've told you a little bit about mythology when it comes to the daffodil. That there was a young man that was the daffodil. A daffodil is also called a narcissist. Okay, that's another name for the flower, the daffodil. And this is like where I believe it got its name from mythology. Okay, so here's the story. This is a continuation. If you want to hear the beginning story, obviously I can't upload this live in its entirety here on TikTok because it's gone over an hour, and at that point we're not ticking and talking anymore. But I hope that you will choose to go ahead over on YouTube and join me over there. My channel altogether is called Sunset Songs. There are lots of channels that go by Sunset Songs, but I couldn't help it that when I thought of that name, it stuck well with me. In the video that I talked about spring, like the last two videos, I've explained how I came up with that name and during COVID and all that, and just the name stuck. And I explained that in the last like two videos, which was all about spring. But I explain it and just how I came up with the name Sunset Songs and all that. But so there are lots of channels that are called Sunset Songs, but mine is Sunset Songs. I mean, it's all about my personal journey with the law of attraction. I can't wait till I'm going live on both when I'm going live on TikTok. I'm also going live on YouTube. I'm just not there yet. I got to get more savvy when it comes to all this technology and all that, and I can't wait to do it. But if you go to Sunset Songs, I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to start kind of sharing the logo here so you'll know what to look for when you go over when you go over on YouTube. My channel is called Sunset Songs. When you click on it, then of course I'm going to start talking. This is Shadow Girl Sherry, and there we go. But I think I'm getting a cue now. I thought anyway. Well, see, I'll get a text because I can't. Anyhow. So I'm going to talk a little bit longer, at least 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to see how it goes. If I get like a cue from somebody that I live with, oh, well, it's time to shut down, then obviously I got to do it. And this live has went on for a long time just because I always come up with a lot of notes, the synchronicities that I find out when I start teaming a song up with a subject. It's crazy. So again, if you want to hear the whole story about this myth, the mythology and all that goes behind the narcissist and the daffodil, then I hope that you will join me over on my channel, Sunset Songs, where this live will be. I will upload it in its entirety. But here, obviously on TikTok, once you go over an hour, it's gone too long and they're not going to let you go over an hour and, upload it. So anyhow, so this is the continuation of the story of narcissist, okay, mythology. Okay, there is a continuation. There is the story of Echo, okay? All right, the story of Echo is the tragic heartbeat behind the narcissist myth. She is the reason the term echo exists, just as narcissists gave us the word narcissism, okay? These are all things that I came up with just by looking up the spiritual and witchcraft meaning and all together. What does a daffodil stand for? And I come up with all this stuff. You're going to be so surprised as to the other information that I came up with, right? Okay, but for now, we're going to continue from the story, mythology, Echo. Okay, the story of Echo is the tragic heartbeat behind the narcissist myth. She is the reason the term echo exists, just as narcissists gave us the word narcissism. Okay? Now I'm going to read it to you. The tragedy of Echo and Narcissus. Okay? Here is how her story, this is her story. This is another puzzle piece here. Okay? Building all this, putting all this together, building it up. Okay? The curse of silence. Okay. Echo was a beautiful mountain nymph. I'm sorry. The curse of silence. Echo was a beautiful mountain nymph who loved to talk. She's like me. She likes to talk. I like to talk. I'm Shadow Girl Sherry. And I'm a Gemini. And Gemini is Gemini is connected to Mercury, which is the planet of communication. In Gemini, energy is got a lot to do with communication and talking, because think about it, it's the sign of the twins. And if you look over and you see your twin, you're going to want to talk to him. So anyhow, so here we go. So, so Echo's like me, but anyhow. So the curse of silence. Echo was a beautiful mountain nymph who loved to talk. However, she was punished by the goddess Hera. I think it's Hera. Hera, Hera. She was punished by the goddess Hera for distracting her with long stories while Zeus, Hera's husband, was off with other nymphs. Okay? Hera cursed her so she could never speak first. She could only repeat the last words spoken to her. Okay? Again, however, she was punished by the goddess Hera for distracting her with long stories while Zeus, Hera's husband, was off with other nymphs. Hera cursed her so she could never speak first. She could only repeat the last words spoken to her. Okay? The unrequited love. Okay? Echo fell deeply in love with Narcissus when she saw him hunting in the woods. Because of her curse, she couldn't tell him how she felt. She followed him silently, waiting for him to speak so she could answer. The rejection. When Narcissus finally sensed someone following him and called out, "Is anyone here?" Echo excitedly repeated, "Here." But when she finally showed herself and tried to embrace him, Narcissus cruelly rejected her. The fading away. Heartbroken and ashamed, Echo hid in the caves and pined away. Her body eventually withered into dust, leaving only her voice behind. To this day, when you shout into a canyon, you are hearing Echo repeating your words. still waiting for a love that will never return. That's something. I'm going to read it again. The fading away. Heartbroken and ashamed, Echo hid in caves and pined away. Her body eventually withered into dust, leaving only her voice behind. To this day, when you shout into a canyon, you are hearing Echo repeating your words, still waiting for a love that will never return. Okay. Now, you know what, guys? I think because right now I was talking about talking, and I've been talking for so long with this video, and Echo likes to talk and I like to talk. And guys, you guys make me feel so seen and so heard, and I want to thank you so much. And that's why I feel so comfortable talking with you all, really. I want to thank you so much for joining me. But again, like Echo, I love to talk and everything, and you guys make me feel heard and everything and understood and all that, because you've stayed with me so long, and I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. But at the same time, because we're talking about Echo and her talking, I think that is where I am going to stop talking for tonight. It's 10:01, and I've been talking for a long time now. I think I may have started this live at maybe something after 7 or 8. But guys, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. This is going to be right from that point when I start talking about Echo, because she's talking. And that's where I'm going to pick up on the subject and start talking again about the daffodil, the myth. We're talking about the daffodil flower, but the daffodil was named, okay, mythology. The narcissist. A daffodil is also it has the name Narcissus, and that came from the mythology. This young man, Narcissus, who just thought he was so beautiful that he kept looking in a mirror at himself. But I am going to come back and talk about all this, and but start from that point of Echo, because she's talking and I like to talk, and I'm going to come back and talk about the subject again. But I've been talking for a long time, and it is 10:02 at night. And guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see how many people join me for this. And again, I can't wait to come back and finish the story about the daffodil, about the narcissist. And guys, you are going to be so surprised when you hear the continuation of the story. I've got more to tell you that connects back to this beautiful flower. Like the synchronicities and the things that I find, it's always a fun journey. I always find it fascinating, the things that I find out when I just from connecting a subject and a song together, and from there I run with it. So guys, I especially want to thank Big Pappy, because Big Pappy has been hanging out with me for a long time. I'm trying to figure out how to close this down, because I've been talking for so long, right? And Shadow Girl Sherry is, gotta calm down for the night, just like this daffodil. But of course, the daffodil is just waking up, but for the spring. But I'm gonna, I have a way, and like I forget how to close it down, the live. But I'm figuring that out right now. So you might hear me, mumbling a little bit and trying to figure it out. But this is going to be the conclusion of this live. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for joining me, and especially to Big Pappy, because I think Big Pappy has been hanging out with me for a while. So we've enjoyed this Saturday night together as a group, guys, and I want to thank you so much for watching. And let me figure out how to do this. I think I got it now. Look, and it's telling me right now that if I go for 74 minutes, I'd reach another stage, but I can't do that, because I got to have respect for everybody that I live with, and so on and so forth. But guys, again, this is going to be the end of this live. I can't wait to see how many people join me. I had so much fun with this live. I had so much fun researching the information, and I'm going to love to come back and make a part 2 to this. And I'm going to upload this video in its entirety, add like a clip here on TikTok, but you're going to be able to see this video again in its entirety on my channel, Sunset Songs, where hopefully I'm going to be able to join when I go live on TikTok. I'm also going to be going live on YouTube. I just got to figure out how to do it because I'm not the most tech savvy person, but I'm getting there. And but you can go over on to my channel, Sunset Songs. I'm also going to make it, since I said that there are other channels called Sunset Songs, I'm going to try to start putting in what the logo, the idea of what you're looking for when you go over on YouTube, so you know what you're looking for. But guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. This is Shadow Girl Sherry saying good night, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.